You know what? You know what? I'm gonna stay on this screen and I'll stand up if it finishes. Because I have no way of estimating how long was left in the load in the cycle. Ah. Laundry sitting in the water for a few minutes won't hurt anything. Well, here's the thing, okay? The reason why I wanted to start the stream was because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna paint my nails while I zhong. Because, like, zhonging is not a game that requires, like, a ton of, like, nails stuff happens. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna paint my nails while I zhong. But if I paint my nails, I can't move the laundry. And I also know that if I don't grab the laundry when I know the laundry is ready, then it just doesn't get done. I'm going to wake up to everyone please be proud of me. Please clap. Please applaud. Please be happy with me. I did one good thing today. You know, maybe I got up late, maybe I spent too much time on my phone, but I didn't forget the can of Pepsi in the freezer. Shame if you had to do laundry after that. Well, like, that doesn't have to do with anything. Laundry is gonna happen regardless of whether I want it to or not, you know? That's just a side effect of wearing clothes. You know? Just a side effect of wearing clothes. Unless you're like one of those people that like wears everything once and then never again. Which I don't know. I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could be like that. Certified, not feeble moment. I'm gonna check because the laundry machine has stopped moving. But I didn't hear the lock go clink. So maybe... Let me check. Let me go check. Okay, still not done, but it's closer to done. I think it just has to drain out whatever water is left. Yeah. I'm feeling more feeble. What, you think I transferred the feebleness onto you? Happy birthday. Have some feebleness. Dark Souls Invader banished text will replace feebleness banished. I've conquered feebleness in a small way. In a very small way. I don't know. I can't say I've been hitting the high scores in the past 2 days, but you know, I did some things right. I did some things right. That sounds like you. You love to bully me a lot. Open up your present. It's feebleness. What about 426.7? Who pinned that while I was gone? No, I'm gonna have to revoke your privileges. Can I make somebody a mod, but like a mod except when it comes to pin? It was dry for real! It was dry for real! It was dry for real! We're good! We're good! We're good! We're good! We're all good! I can start the stream for real! I can start the stream for real! Let's go! Yippee! Yippee! This is like, you successfully did the laundry sound. There we go. Here we go. Behold, listen to the sound of... I didn't put up the Foogie! Why is it doing that? The sound of Eggy successfully doing the laundry. Feebleness banished, yes! No feebleness. I just stuck my hand directly into my cup of water. Very cool. Feebleness returned. I went to grab something off the side table and I just like immediately just like entire hand into my cup of water. None of it spilled. I just felt something on my fingers. I'm like, I don't think that's how it's supposed to feel. Behold, egg. Yes, egg. I am experienced streamer who knows how to run a stream. Yeah. Feebleness restored. Cannot escape the feebleness. Impossible to escape. But yes, I should probably say good evening. I should say good evening to Panis, and to Counter Teamer, and to Jake, and to Not John Stamos, and to Punk Asian, and to Hickory, and I should drink water that I recently just stuck my entire hand in. Hold on. And to Baxter Crook, happy New Brunswick Day? No, today is, they just call it Civic Holiday, not to be mixed up with Labor Day. Somehow it's a separate thing. Civic Holiday is a weird one because I think this might be one of the, well, no, not the first job I've ever had that gives me Civic Holiday off. But like most of the time for Civic Holiday, it's largely for like government stuff. Like government institutions will get Civic Holiday off. But like for the most part, like businesses don't, except for mine for some reason. So that is nice and good. And good evening to Uphill. And to was there anybody else who said hi? Neil. Good evening, Neil. And good evening to Exponric. And good evening to Desitroya. And good evening to... Oh, wait, hold on. Good evening again to Penish. Ooh, woo, thank you for your redeem. And I have to put on my glasses. And I think that was the only one you asked for. Did you ask for the pajamas? No. You're just redeeming everything. Hair up? Are you sure? Are you sure? There we go. Go cozy mode, fine. But, like, you can't go cozy mode with hair up. You can't go cozy mode with hair up, because then I have the weird floating bun. I have the weird floating bun. We can't do that. We can't do that. You know, I'm making an executive decision here. Hair down. I guess I don't have to make an executive decision now, since everybody agrees with me. Everyone agrees with me. Is the music of an appropriate volume? I'm just making sure, because I think I might have to turn things down on my end. But I can just do this. And none of you need to know about it. Excellent. And also good evening to Hickory on YouTube and Ibao Q on YouTube. 6-7. But yeah, you're making her work on nondescript civic holiday? I don't know. What is... I'm gonna have to look up what... Civic Holiday Canada. Civic holiday in Canada is a midsummer public observance held annually on the first Monday of August. In Ontario, it's called Simcoe Day in Toronto, Colonel By Day in Ottawa, Joseph Brent Day in Burlington. I've never heard any of these being used in any of those places. In British Columbia, it's known as British Columbia Day. In Manitoba, it's known as Terry Fox Day. In Saskatchewan, it's known as Saskatchewan Day. In Nova Scotia and PEI, it's known as Natal Day? They don't elaborate on that. So it's non-statutory in Ontario, but it's statutory elsewhere. What a strange... Is it... They have a word for it in French. So French is congé civique, but they don't have it in Quebec. It is very strange. Very strange. Either way, the point is that I had the day off today, which I usually don't. My birthday, it's a holiday. I'm the long-lost king of Canada. Well, I mean, it's a slightly different one every year, right? Because it's the first Monday of August, right? So it's like, some years it'll be the first, some years it'll be the third, some years it might be the second. Like, it's slightly different, right? Depending on when August starts. And we still get Labor Day next month. So that one I know for sure is like the same everywhere. I'll have to check. I need to check, because I know my work, in like the employee handbook at my work when I started the job, they were like, we have a list available of all of the holidays that we give people off. And I have yet to find this list. I cannot find it anywhere in our files, anywhere hanging around the office. I think my supervisor sent it to one of my coworkers, but not to me. So maybe I should ask her about that. Because like, I'm not expecting any surprises, but like, there's still some holidays, I think, that some people get off and some people don't. Like, everybody usually gets Christmas, Boxing Day, everybody usually gets Thanksgiving, but like some places give you Remembrance Day and some provinces don't. And there's another one that they added a few years ago that was like Truth and Reconciliation Day, which is in September. And it's usually in the middle of the week. But again, because it's so recent, a lot of businesses don't observe it. I'm not sure if it's like mandatory to observe it, but because like I remember the year that it was introduced was like 2021, and that's when I was like working mall customer service. So I didn't have the day off, but some stores were closed that day, and we definitely heard about it. 67, 80, 72. A holiday for the level in Halo. Is there a Halo level called that? But Truth and Reconciliation. I believe it's something. It is related to Aboriginal, like Native. I think that's why it's Truth and Reconciliation Day. Why in September? And it's a Wednesday. I'm not sure why they picked specifically a Wednesday. Like, I'm not sure why it's in the middle of the week. Or maybe it just happens to fall in the middle of the week this year. Because I'm thinking like maybe, because I know it's like Remembrance Day is always, Remembrance Day is always the 11th of November. Like I think it's the same as Veterans Day in the States. But not everyone gives it off, but it's always on the same day, regardless of when in the week it falls. But I'm not sure if the other ones work the same way, but yeah. The holiday list is a social construct made up by your supervisor. Don't give in to false information. You're right. They can just invent holidays. They can invent holidays. But they choose not to, for reasons beyond our comprehension. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm like, I didn't have enough time to plan anything for this weekend anyway, so I didn't do much. But I think this is largely just like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll do something for Labor Day. I don't know. Maybe I'll go visit my parents or something. Is either specific date or X day of the week on X number week of the month? Yeah. I'm inventing Eggy Day. You could just make that my birthday. You just make that my birthday. Invent a new statutory holiday. I don't know. If you had to make like World VTuber Day, when would you put it? When do you think? Like World VTuber Day. Maybe like in, I feel like that'd be like September, October kind of time. Putting Eggy Day on my calendar. Again, my birthday is, just put May 20th. That can be Eggy Day. September 11th. No! We're not putting VTuber Day on September 11th. I don't know why, but my mind's saying September 20th, like late September. That would be bold. I just said we're not putting it on 9/11. September, we're not putting VTuber Day on September 11th. As much as Bodega would probably argue against this, we're not doing that. VTuber Day, October 5th. 5 equals V, October. You know what? That's actually... Punk Asian, you are the smartest person. You are the smartest eggplant. Congratulations. That's a way better idea than I could have had. Everyone, please congratulate Punk Asian on being the smartest eggplant. Congratulations. Your tracking looks so shocked by that. Oh! No, I think it's because I looked down and the tracking did not know what to do with that information. What did the Hindenburg spoke? That's a good metaphor for VTubing. A marvel of its time, then burned to the ground by its own hubris. Where is the hubris? The day Morica Life debuted inventing VTubering, which is September. Wait, hold on. When did Hollow Myth debut? Did somebody actually debut on 9/11? I feel like I thought for some reason I was under the impression it was like the 7th or the 8th. Like it was like earlier in the month. I remember it was September of 2020, but I don't remember exactly when. Like, surely Cover would know better than to have one of their first English-speaking VTubers debut on 9/11, right? Hi, Eggy. Hi, everyone. Hello, Boothberry. I'm painting my nails. And we're talking about where would you, if you had to make like VTuber, like World VTuber Day, like where would you put it? When would you put it? Where in the year do you think World VTuber Day would go? It can't be 9/11. Everyone stop suggesting September 11th. I don't know. I like October 5th. I like October 5th. We've invented VTubing holiday. Now, I don't know. How do you celebrate VTuber holiday, though? Is the question. Do you have a barbecue on VTuber holiday? Like, is it a holiday, like, do the VTubers get the day off? Or is it a holiday where everyone watches their Oshi? You watch a streamathon. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what is, how do we celebrate? How do we celebrate World VTuber Day? You play Metro Chameleon with friends and family. Ah, so you have to become the VTuber then. Oh, June 7 or July 6. It can't be 6/7. Can't be 6/7. Every VTuber streams for 24 hours. As is customary. It's like, I don't know, having like an internet outage on VTuber Day is like the equivalent of having like a really bad snowstorm on like Christmas. We sat by crying, realizing all our friends are online and more the tragedy that VTubing has caused. That's not VTubing's fault. Okay, I'm painting my nails. What is the name of this color? My mom lent me this one. She didn't lend it to me. She lent it to me, and then she said, because she was going on a trip where my parents were stopping by on the way there and then again on the way back. So she said, just give it to me when I come back, and then I didn't. So this one is Essie Quick Dry Mall Crawler, number 205. I'm actually not a fan of most, like, Essie nail polishes. I'm not usually a fan of this brand because I feel like the, like, it's not pigmented enough. Like, I feel like it's one of those brands where you need, like, a bajillion coats to make the color actually show up how I want it to. So we'll see how this one goes. Because I know my mom likes this one. It's like a purplish. It's like kind of a purple. Yeah, see, but I put it on and it's, like, so unpigmented that, like, it's basically sheer. It's basically sheer. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like every polish from this brand is low-key, like, really sheer, which bugs me a bit. Like, even, like, it's one thing to have a sheer, like, pink, or, like, a sheer beige. But when you have, like, a sheer blue, then it's like, no, this stops working. This stops working very quickly. Sheer green. Like, or even worse, sheer yellow. Yeah. Iggy kept the nail polish. I did not return it. Did see a cute gothic Lolita cord at the manga store and said, nice cord, and got ignored. The youth don't know cord. Thank you for saying cord, though. I know when I was at Offkai, I did have some people who complimented my cord. And, like, some people would say, I like your outfit. Some people would say, I like your cord. And I did have a couple instances of somebody saying, they start to say, I like your outfit, and then they quickly correct themselves and say cord. So, I don't know. It's like, if you say cord, that's how I know that you are in the know. You know ball. You know ball. Like, anyone can wear an outfit. I mean, I know that cord in Japanese just means, like, outfit, right? Or, like, any set of clothes that you put together on purpose, as in, like, it's not like a uniform or something. But, yeah, in English, if you say cord, then it's like, oh, okay, you're in the know. You're in the know. I know so many EGGY girls get mad if I don't say cord. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like outfit just sounds a little too casual for what it is, I guess. Because, like, yeah, in Japanese, cord does mean outfit. Like, there's nothing special about the word cord. But I guess now that it's been, like, kind of borrowed into English via J-Fashion. I don't know, though, because I feel like only some J-Fashions use it. Like, Lolitas definitely use it. EGGY girls use it. I feel like, do gyaru really, I don't know if Western gyaru really use, cord, like, if they use it in the same way. I'm not even sure if, like Decora type people, I feel like they don't really use that word either in English at least. Yeah. All my socials just cute Lolita. I know cord. He knows cord. He knows what a cord is. And he knows that thank you for also knowing that it spells with 2 O's. Because it's short for coordinate or coordination, right? So I've seen a lot of people, like, don't realize that you're supposed to spell it with 2 O's, and they're like, everybody, look at my cord, and it's spelled like C-O-R-D, like the thing that you plug into your computer. Look at my beautiful Lolita cord. And it's like a wire. Or I've seen even worse, I've seen people putting chord as in, like, the thing you have in music, like C-H-O-R-D. And they're like, look at my chord. I heard there was a secret chord. Learning so much about Lolita and J-Fashion. Did I ever upload? Surely that must be somewhere on my channel. In, like, oh my god, that VOD must be, like, ancient by now. I think that this was within, like, the first week since after debut. I did a stream about about Lolita fashion. And this was like, sorry, everybody check off passage of time on your Eggy Bingo card. It was 5 years ago, I'm realizing now, when I did that stream. But I think I uploaded the VOD to YouTube, I'm pretty sure. The VOD exists somewhere, I think. It's one of the few early ones that I have, like, fully preserved. Yeah, the slideshow. Yeah. Yeah, again, that was, like, within my first week of debut, I think. Yeah, I'm like, oh, that was 5 years ago. That was 5 years ago. Oh no, 2021 was 5 years ago. I probably sound so different. I watched my debut and I'm like, who was that? I mean, I don't know. I don't think the voice... I know sometimes you have VTubers where, like, they talk super high at debut, or they have, like, a very different voice at debut compared to, like, later. Like, because I feel like everybody starts off kind of doing, not really a character voice, but, like, you know, putting on sort of a performance, and then after a while you get more comfortable, right? Or you start with, like, a really... voice that is not sustainable, and then you eventually figure out a way to sustain it. The only stream I remember of you having a dedicated stream about Lolita fashion was a collab you had with Bodega. You might be remembering wrong because that was with Zia. I don't know if I've ever done a dedicated Lolita fashion stream with Bodega. I know I've done one with Zia. I don't know if I've done one with Bodega. Maybe I did and I'm the one forgetting? I think I've done more than one with Zia. No, actually no, it was just one. It was just one. Okay. Yeah, performance voice, nerves, etc., then slowly get comfortable. Yeah. Well, I think it's also that, like, again, I don't know how many of you were around, like, for VTubers 5 years ago, but I feel like at the time, it was a lot more common for every VTuber to debut to have, like, a thing. Like, not necessarily a gimmick, but it's like, you couldn't just be like, hi, I am cute girl streamer. It's like, I am... a character. Not really a character, but like I am a thing, right? So it's like I am a demon, I am a witch, I am a dog, I am like a princess. Like you were much more of like a thing. And I remember at debut, I think what I was trying to go for was like, I am an egg, but I can't just be an egg because eggs generally don't have that much personality to them. So Eggy's gimmick, wearing clothes. Yeah, like, I mean, when it comes to egg, it's like, okay, I can have a gimmick of like, okay, I am an Eggy. I can make egg puns and reference egg-related things, but like, egg is not a personality. Also, good evening, Linkstorm, hello. Like, egg is not a personality, so I think personality-wise, what I was trying to go for was like, polite young lady. Because I'm like, yes, that is, I mean... I'm probably not polite all the time, but like that's close enough to what I am usually, right? Would you guys argue with that if I said I'm a polite young lady? So I think that's what I was trying to go for. So I was trying to sound like extra polite, I think, at the time. So yeah, I think that's what I was trying to go for. Polite egg lady. Yeah, so I think I talked a lot more calmly, and I was very, maybe not really high pitched, but I was more relaxed and less yappy. Less yappy. I was trying to choose my words more carefully. No loud yapping. The yappy comes with time. True! Because, yeah, I wouldn't say it was, like, higher pitched, right? Like, it wasn't higher pitched. It was just kind of different. I mean, I guess it was a little bit higher pitched. This is the same voice as the Glorp stream. You know what? Maybe. But, yeah, like, if you go back, I don't know. Go back, watch my debut stream, put it through a Glorp filter, see what happens. I wonder where Glorp is and if she's okay. She's fine. Like I said, broadcasting to Earth is expensive. She can't do it too often. The research department doesn't have the budget for that. Okay, I'm putting on like a 3rd or 4th coat, and it's finally starting to look like a color. So that's good. I don't think I'll do a 5th coat. Yeah, I think this is a color, I guess. It'll do. It'll do. Say she got captured. She's not! NASA can't even make it there! The planet is too far away. That's why broadcasting to Earth is so expensive. She's busy researching Earth culture. She's writing a paper. She's writing her glorpy thesis. About Earth culture. But yeah, the yap comes with the age and the feeble. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's also too, I felt like I needed to have a cuter voice. Cause like, I don't know, I guess I felt like if I didn't speak cute enough, it was like my voice wouldn't match my model. So, but now I'm also just like, I don't think anyone's voice matches their model anymore. Or like, maybe no one's voice matches their model anymore, so everyone's voice matches their model, if that makes sense, right? Like, I guess it's like, you know, even if the voice doesn't match at first, after a while you just get used to that voice coming out of that face, right? So at some point I felt like maybe it just kind of stopped mattering. And now I sound like this, which is definitely closer, I think, to how I sound in real life. I am egg. I am egg. That said, I feel like my singing sounds different than what it did like 5 years ago. I know some of that is just like, you know, there are changes in your singing voice sometimes as you get older, but I don't think it's just that. Like, I think, like, even listening to stuff from like a year ago, I feel like I sound different. And some of it is just like figuring out new techniques, but I think some of it is also like, I don't know. I sound different. I sound different. I think now, compared to like 5 years ago, I can do a broader range of styles. Because I think when I was younger, I kind of assumed that there were certain styles that I just straight up cannot do, in the same way that, like, you know, there's clothes that I just straight up cannot look good in. Like, it just doesn't work. That's not how, it just won't work for me. But I think it's also just like, I guess I had an idea of like how things should sound, and if I couldn't do it naturally, like without thinking, then it just wouldn't count. But I'm like, that's not how that works. But yeah, every VTuber on their debut uses cutesy voice to match cutesy model. Every VTuber after like 2 months of streaming just uses their normal unhinged voice to stream with. I mean, I wouldn't say is my voice unhinged? I wouldn't say it's unhinged. I don't know. I think I'm a rather hinged VTuber, to be honest. Compared to others, I don't think of myself as unhinged. I think I'm rather well hinged. I think maybe the hinges are a little squeaky sometimes, but I think of myself as pretty well hinged. I've never really thought of myself as somebody unhinged, you know? Because, like, can you screw them? Can you screw them more? Tighten the hinges? Hinged for sure. Well, you don't want to tighten them too much because then you can't open the door, you know? Hinged for sure, but you aren't using the fourth cutesy voice anymore. I suppose so, yeah. Because, yeah, I'm just like, I could probably bear to be more unhinged, but I don't know. I feel like there's a limit before it stops feeling like eggy, you know? It starts to feel rather un-egg-like. If anything, I think if I tried to be more unhinged, I think it would come off really poorly. I think it would come off really poorly because I would probably, like, it would feel forced, you know? Eggy, drink water? Yes. But yes, good evening, Zully. Yeah, like, I can be hinged. Hinged. Yeah, I think if I tried to be more, like, loud and unhinged, I feel like it would just kind of come off as forced. But I can't see in any situation. I can't quite picture you as a totally unhinged VTuber. Me neither. Because, like, even in collabs with other people, I don't think I could come off as unhinged unless I was, like, collabing with somebody who's somehow even more, like, normal, you know? Like, I feel like Zia Xenos, my good friend Zia Xenos, self-proclaimed normal girl, I feel like even she is less normal than I am. In terms of stream behavior, at least. Like, if the collab was a very normal girl, yes, the most normal of girls. Like, even in that situation, I don't think I would come off as unhinged. She's less normal than you are. Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't think of myself as unhinged. I'm rather quite hinged. I'm quite hinged. Unfortunately, this means I need to actually be clever with the things I say. Because if you are perceived as unhinged, then that means that you can fall back on loud equals funny. But unfortunately, as somebody who is very hinged, I cannot fall back on this. I cannot fall back on it. Can't fall back on loud equals funny. Can't fall back on fast equals funny. I have to actually say things of value and merit. Not that other people don't, but I have no crutch to stand on. I think unhinged is probably easy. The hard part is committing to the bit. Yeah, and I just feel like, I don't know, it probably comes more naturally to some people than others, right? Like, in theory, it's like if somebody said, be more unhinged, right? I would, like, I'd know, I guess it's like a planning versus execution thing. Because if somebody said, hey, Eggy, we need you to act more unhinged, I would know what to do. But would I be able to successfully do it is a separate question, right? Because, like, I have seen, I've been watching VTubers and streamers long enough to know, like, okay, when people think unhinged, what does that entail? Like, I know what it entails, but, like, would I be able to actually put it into action on myself in a way that could prove successful? Probably not, you know? I think it's again, it's a theory versus not theory. Planning versus execution, I guess. Knowledge versus execution. Every collab needs that one person to help anchor the others, and that person is an egg. I am the dedicated straight man. I think unhinged is probably, but yeah, no, I think it's, yeah. I am, are you? I think so. I am the dedicated person. You have that bokeh energy? I don't know. Do I say unusual things and everybody else goes, huh? Because I feel like going, huh, is usually my job, isn't it? I know who asked for the Dark Souls Fuel meme, but it's done and posted. Nice and good. Okay, I'm just gonna put on the top coat and then we'll get to jogging. This, again, this nail polish is like extremely sheer. Even more so than I thought it was gonna be. But I refuse to put on like 5 coats because that's excessive. I'm once again justified in not liking this specific brand of nail polish because everything is so sheer. Where is the pigment? Where's the pigment? Okay, how many layers is too many for Lolita? Can you have too many coats? Well, I don't know. It depends if you count like a petticoat as one layer or as multiple layers, right? Because usually within a petticoat, you'll have like 2 or 3 layers of like tulle and whatnot. But also you can wear multiple petticoats. Some people do that. It can be quite fun, but it can also be quite strenuous for the waistline. Because you have like a bajillion things just like pressing in on your waist. So you look very puffy, but then you're also going ow, 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 ow. Generally, with clothing, it's recommended to not be going ow, ow, ow. Nah, I got a piece of dust in my nail polish. Can I remove it without ruining everything? No! I ruined everything. Hold on, give me a moment. It's a light color too. I think if I had done like a darker polish, it wouldn't be such a big deal, but because it's like sheer pink, it's like super noticeable. Okay, there we go. I ruined everything for a single piece of dust, but it's fine. I will put top coat over it and hope for the best. Do petticoats come in multiple layers? Well, yeah, because a petticoat is just... How do I explain it? So, a petticoat is pretty much just like when you have a bajillion layers... Not a bajillion, there's usually maybe like 3. Essentially, it's a bunch of layers of very, like, stiff fabric, right? And when they're on top of each other, then they create a poof, you know? And then when you put the dress over it, because it's a stiff fabric... it can support the weight of the dress, right? And that's how you get puffy dress. There are also hoop skirts, but hoop skirts, I don't know. I feel like hoop skirts in Lolita, they exist. They're sometimes popular in the summer months, but I feel like they're not as popular overall as petticoats, just because, you know, storage space, they take up more storage space because you can't really like fold them up. There's also the issue of like sitting down in them is a little bit more of a pain compared to petticoats where you can kind of like flatten them down. So like, yeah, like if you're taking like a bus or something, if you're wearing a hoop skirt, you're going to take up a lot of space when you sit down compared to like a petticoat where like, again, you can kind of squish it in and not be taking up a huge amount of space, right? Eggy, hello, Prodsy Pod. Good evening. But yeah, that's for petticoats. It's usually a couple layers. It's a couple layers of stiff fabric that's like scrunched together, and that creates volume. Okay, so hopefully my nails are like only somewhat destroyed instead of completely destroyed. But we're gonna zhong. We're gonna zhong, and then it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter at all. Yeah, we're zhonging. We're zhonging, and it doesn't matter at all. See? See? It's not gonna matter at all. 5, 6, 4, 2, 1. Five, 6, 4, 2, 1. It's not 6, 7, 4, 20. It's not 4, 20, 6, 7. Are you all 8 years old? I'll pin that on YouTube too. Are you all 5 minutes old? Almost 420? No, it's not almost 420. It's past 420. It's 421, which is, in fact, more than 420. We couldn't even get both 6 and 7 in here. Watch, one day we're going to get a number and it's going to have all the digits for 6, 7, 420, but it's going to be like 6, 427 or something like that. Like all the digits will be there, but they're just not going to be in the right order. Yeah, I learned so much about the Lolita fashion zone world. Why did I say zone? Fashion world today. Again, I think I have the VOD for that stream up. It is outdated, and there's some information in there that is either outdated or possibly just straight up incorrect. Like, I've learned other things since then, or things have changed. Like, especially with, I think there's a portion of it at the end that's about, like, tangentially related styles. So, like, if you like some aspects of Lolita but not all of them, like here's some other things you can try. That section I think might be at this point like, oops, all outdated or incorrect information, because there's a lot of things that were like Jirai wasn't really quite a thing yet in 2021. Like, it was becoming a thing, but like Jirai in its current form did not exist really in 2021. And like, if it, like when it did, it looked different and it worked different kind of, and it wasn't as well known outside of Japan. So there are things in there like, yeah, that I mentioned that are like incredibly outdated, or yeah, were not even correct at the time. All right. He lied to us. I did not lie to you. I did not lie to you. I was misinformed, and or the information was correct at the time. I did not intentionally seek to misinform you. I'm sorry for spreading misinformation on the internet. I don't know, sometimes I'm scared of spreading misinformation on the internet. Sometimes I'll mention things on stream and I'll be like, I hope that was correct. I hope that was correct. Because I'm like, what if I'm spreading misinformation? Like, what if I say something wrong? We don't have the budget for fact checking here at NiceEggy Incorporated. So if something is wrong, they're just not gonna know. Nah. Yeah, I didn't know that I'd seen this. I think I've seen this kind of fashion before. I didn't know it was its own subgenre of J fashion. Yes, Jirai. Oops. Jirai is. I wouldn't say it's related to Lolita because it's really not at all. So Jirai is something that kind of is a mix. If you look at it kind of in the context of everything that came before it, it's kind of a mix of a few existing styles that takes elements of different parts of it, as well as different like subculture parts of it as well. So Jirai, I think it's a girly fashion, like it's very frilly and feminine, but in a very different way than Lolita, I think. Yeah, I associate Jirai with that stupid pink dress. They do tend to have a lot of the same color palette. So generally, hallmarks of Jirai are, I guess, frilly blouses and frilly skirts, but they're often shorter than Lolita skirts. Like, Lolita skirts tend to be knee length. Jirai skirts tend to be, like, substantially shorter than that. Lots of lace, but not all of it is like, good lace. You see a lot of things, not necessarily like fishnets, but like a lot of like lace tights, a lot of lace socks. Sometimes shoulders are kind of exposed, like you have those like shoulder cutout blouses. Oh man, it's hard to really like describe in words what differentiates it from other like similar styles. But the other thing I think that differentiates it is culturally, it's associated with like a lot of like delinquent activity, I guess is one way to put it. Like, it's usually associated with how do I explain this? I'm trying to explain this in a way that's like not like impolite. It's associated with sad girls who party a lot, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, mental health issues. Yeah, essentially like mentally unstable girls who like cute things and party a lot. It's associated with like not roppongi, kabuki-cho. Kabuki-cho is like the major areas associated with, kind of in the same way that like Shibuya was kind of associated with gyaru. I guess kabuki-cho is kind of that for Jirai. But again, I might be spreading misinformation with that one. But I mean, I know it has a lot of connections to kabuki-cho. I think nowadays it's become kind of, because it's become maybe not mainstream, but like it's popular enough that it's kind of like in Japan it's kind of seen the same way that like, you know, if you have a kid here who dresses like a teenager who dresses like goth or like emo, like you don't instantly like assume like, oh, this is a mentally unstable individual, right? Like it's kind of hit that point where it's like, this is just like a popular thing because it's the kind of fashion that I guess and subculture that speaks to a lot of young people. Yeah, all the Jirai people I know are mentally unstable. Thank you for confirming. I mean, some of them still are, but again, I think it's not so much like it's like the reverse thing, right? It's like how people are like, oh, why are all the VTubers like, why do all the VTubers have a bajillion health conditions? And it's like, no, you got the causality wrong. It's more that like people with health conditions are more likely to try and become VTubers, right? So I would say it's kind of in that vein where, man, you wronged me when I had 2 sets of 6-7 in my hand. Yeah, I got the seed and post Evo Wave treatment. I guess, in a way, kind of. Like, in a way that, like, it's, like, I guess the subculture is kind of associated, yeah, with, like, being mentally unstable and, like, you know, partying and delinquency. But on the other hand, like, the average person wearing Jirai is probably not involved, like, especially if they're younger. Like, your average, like, 17-year-old wearing it is, you know, may or may not actually be involved with any of that, because, again, it's something that's become popular enough that, you know, it's just like a thing people do now, right? But yeah, you see it a lot. I think recently it's kind of broken into, it's been around long enough that it's kind of broken into like anime and manga, and I guess it's now kind of become a new type of character. You know, in the same way that like Gyaru is kind of a type of character, you're seeing a lot of like characters that are explicitly Jirai. Like, that's their art. It's like a new archetype that just got invented. So I think that's something I think that's been interesting, because I think that's where most people have been finding out about it. I don't know, though. I think one of the things I've been thinking about is how, like, Gyaru and Jirai kind of have more in common than you would think. Because they're both, like, youth subcultures that are mostly women, like, not entirely women, but it's, like, mostly women that are engaging with this. And they're both subcultures that are very, like, feminine and, like, both, you know, they all like things that are cute and Sanrio characters and stuff, and they both have like very distinct hair and makeup styles. Maybe clothing not as much, because like Jirai clothing is very distinct looking. I can't say the same for Gyaru depending on the substyle, but like, you know, they're very like distinct looking, very clear hair and makeup, kind of like heavy makeup, but like it's like a very clear and recognizable style. They're both subcultures that are kind of associated with, you know, delinquency and partying and just general misbehavior. I guess the key difference here is mostly that like Gyaru kind of have a reputation for being like happy and high energy, whereas Jirai kind of have the opposite reputation. Like they have a reputation for being, you know, like sad and depressed and angry and unstable, right? So I think that's kind of where the divergence is. But like when you look at the rest of it, it's like they have a lot more in common than you would think. I guess maybe it is a generational thing. Like it's like this is the same idea, but like for a new generation. But also this might be misinformation. I might be wrong about a lot of things. I'm not sure how to address Jirai when the association is that. I mean, but think about it this way, right? Like, there's a lot of subcultures that are also, like, think about how many people, like, dress in punk or punk-inspired ways, right? Like, there's a lot of general misbehavior that's associated with that, right? But, you know, is the average person who dresses that way engaging with it like that? Probably not, at least not in this point in time, right? So I think it's kind of in the same way that, like, it's not unusual to have, in fact, I would say most, like, what people would call, like, alternative fashions, like, most of them have some kind of unsavory reputation, right? Even Lolita, to a certain extent, has that kind of reputation, too. So I think that, like, the idea of, like, why would anybody dress like this when this is the reputation is, like, well, because there's something about it that speaks to them, I guess. I'm just sitting here in the background. I'm in third. It's not my problem. But yeah. I'm gonna say, doesn't Lolita have an odd reputation to most lay people? Yeah. I mean, even in Japan, it kind of has maybe not a similar reputation, but like Lolitas are not necessarily, they don't necessarily have the most stable reputation either. In the West, it's mostly for the name, yeah. But even in Japan, within Japan, because like a lot of it started as like an offshoot of like especially like Gothic Lolita has a lot of roots in like visual kei, right? And like other goth inspired subcultures. I'm moving my hands around. You can't see, but I'm making a lot of gestures. So yeah, a lot of even Lolita has like, maybe not as much today, but because I think now with Lolita, it's not normalized. I wouldn't say it's normalized. Like, it's still very much its own niche thing, but like it's normal enough that people will recognize it as such. Like, you walk out in Lolita and they'll be like, yeah, that's Lolita, right? Like, in the same way that like, you know, if you're a goth and you go out, you're gonna have people be like, yeah, that person is dressed goth, like that's what goth is, right? So I think it's kind of, and like, yeah, people will split hairs about the exact definitions of things, but like, yeah. Happy whatever Canadian Day it is. Civic holiday, the most broad of holidays. Yeah. Yeah. It's mostly for the name, though. Oh, yeah, for Jirai. I mean, Jirai actually was like a later name. So originally there was... So Jirai in Japanese means, for those who aren't aware, Jirai means landmine. Like, as in, like, you know, the things that explode. And the reason why I got this name is that... So like, Jirai... Like, the idea of Jirai, like landmine, is used kind of similarly in Japanese, the same way that like triggered is in English. So instead of saying like in English, you might say like, oh, you, like in slang terms, right? It's like, oh, this person, like they got triggered, like they got, you know, mad, we would say rage baited nowadays, I think. But in Japanese, I think at the time, like stepped on a landmine was like kind of the equivalent of someone being triggered, right? So originally that's kind of where the name stemmed from, because again, it was like the reputation of like, these are mentally unstable girls who will, oh my god, you're hanging on by a hair there, sorry. So yeah, that was kind of the reputation of like, okay, they're triggered in the sense of like, yeah, they are mentally unstable, they will get mad at whatever, right? And I don't know exactly how this specific style came to be called Jirai specifically. I guess maybe it was just that was the association of girls who like this kind of fashion are also like this, but there is also... Around that time, there were other styles that were developing, but they weren't called Jirai. So there's one that people still kind of refer to today as Ryosan-gata, which is, it literally means like mass-produced. And basically, Ryosan-gata was like a kind of, I guess if you search it now, it's kind of like it's like a style that, it looks like Jirai, but it was called that because it all kind of looks the same. I think that's kind of where it got the name of like mass produced, or like, so it was basically specifically referring to like the kind of girls who had like very similar looking blouses with very similar looking skirts. Like they were all very similar looking outfits, coordinated very similarly, and they would all have like Ita bags with like a bajillion pins of like the same idol's face, that kind of thing, right? So I think at the time that was kind of what it was called. I don't think they call it that anymore. Yeah, copies of each other. Yeah, like I guess they called it that because the idea was like, okay, all these people dressed exactly the same, which again is also, I guess, derogatory in a different way. But how that came to be, how those two styles kind of came together is more research needed. But I know, I don't know, there are precursors kind of to Jirai, just like aesthetically though. I know in the late 2010s, there was a magazine called Larm. And I remember, oh my god, at the time, it's one of those weird things where like, in retrospect, it was like, why did we do this? So Larm was a magazine, and in Japanese, sometimes like when it came to like interviews or like designers or models talking about what they were wearing, they would talk about something called larm K, which is literally just like larm style. But what they meant in this sense was just like larm K was not a specific sub style, right? Larm K was just, I'm kind of dressing in a way similar to what you would find in this specific magazine, right? So somehow this got miscommunicated when it was taken abroad. So like there was a time around like 2015, 2016 where like people were having like actual like larm K meetups. Like they were treating it the same way you do with Lolita fashion, where you had like, this is a larm brand, this is how to dress larm. And it's like, no, this was never like an actual fashion style. It was just a magazine with like a very distinct aesthetic. And then people dressed similar to that aesthetic, right? But you look at a lot of like, I'll see if I can find links sometime. If you look at a lot of the clothes in larm, a lot of it, like if I showed it to you now, if I showed you an example, there's some that just look like proto EGGY. Like this is very clearly like the early roots of something. Like yeah, it was just very clearly. Again, I think that's kind of where it started. Not necessarily where it started, but like I don't know. I guess larm was a little less frilly, I guess. It was a little more restrained. Oh my god. I've never seen somebody get exactly 0 in a game of Mahjong. This is my first time. Congratulations, Baraclow, for being the first person I've ever seen to get exactly 0 points in a Mahjong game. Congratulations, Zully, and thank you, Vols, for playing. Thank you for losing, but like in a very impressive way. That's a very precise loss. I've never seen that before. GG's, yes, GG's indeed. Let me see if I can find a picture of larm K so I can demonstrate what I'm talking about. I'm trying to find something that like looks kind of sort of. Oh my god, the search results are getting polluted because some of these are definitely like modern EGGY. The results are getting polluted. Can I find something that's let me see larm K. Let me try like larm K 2016. Let me see if I search for a year, I can probably find something that's like more. I'm finding pictures, but they're all like pictures of hair and makeup. I'm trying to find a picture of an actual outfit. Ah, here we go. This is a good one. Ah, yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. Here we go. Here we go. This is a good example. This is a good example. I don't know exactly which year this is from, but like if you look at this, right, you can very clearly kind of see where EGGY was pulling from. Like you can see the roots of it happening, right? Yes. Thanks for the game, even though it was a poor showing on my part. It was a perfect showing. A perfect showing of 0. You know, the second best thing, if you can't win, you can at least like lose in an impressive way, right? You can lose interestingly. Yeah, you can see where some of the inspiration came from. Yeah, like you see, like you got like the frilly sleeves, the frilly collars, kind of, especially the shoes on the right, I feel like are closest to what you would see today. Like kind of those like chunky platform shoes. I would say the ones on the left, like the sandals, you don't really see that kind of thing nowadays. But like, you know, it's like very. Like even the sheer socks and like the lace tights there, that's very much in line with what you would see today. I think, again, today the average outfit would be a lot frillier. I think the outfit on the right, the one furthest to the right, I think would be closest to something you would see today. Probably the hat you wouldn't have, but like that blouse definitely feels like something you'd see today. The dress, again, it feels like a simplified version of what you would see today. Like I said, I feel like the stuff in LARM around this time was a lot more restrained compared to what you would see today. I feel like today, if anything, we might need to take a couple steps back because there are definitely, I feel like a lot of newer releases in this fashion seem to just be trying to one-up each other on how many details can we add to this outfit. But yeah, like you see kind of like lots of sheer socks, sheer tights, frilly blouses. Again, the hair is not quite in line. I think that fluffy hair was just more in during this time. I think it's kind of fallen out of fashion a bit. It'll come back. But yeah. Our platforms, all the rage in J fashion. Platforms have never not been all the rage in J fashion, I feel. Whether they're in style for specific style or sub-style is a different question. I feel like that kind of comes and goes. But I don't think there's ever been a time since the invention of platform shoes that like everyone was like, nah, we don't need these right now. If anything, I think they've only gotten chunkier, which to be fair, I'm okay with. I like big shoe. Make me more Kingdom Heart. Just give me the giant Mickey Mouse shoes. I'm good with that. But yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, kind of, I don't know. I'll see if I can find a better example too of like just kind of, I think also this is also where you start to see a lot of the like black, white, pastel pink kind of aesthetic. Let me see. I need a source for this picture. Okay, I don't have a source for this picture, so I don't know exactly when it came out. Let me see. Because yeah, LARM definitely, like, again, because it was a magazine and like things change from season to season. So I think there wasn't quite like as distinctive like a color palette or anything. Like it was a much broader range of styles. Let's see. Because yeah, this is another one that I'm definitely is like, this is like just 3 steps away from becoming just modern EGGY. like look at this. Like, you got the big chunky shoes, you got the pink and white color palette, you got lots of bows, you got chokers, you got, I think the big hime cut. Like, you wouldn't see a ponytail as much today. Usually they go for twin tails more. But, like, big hime cut, big bangs, that's definitely something you see today. Definitely, like, the Peter Pan collar with like, that black ribbon, puff sleeves. Like, that kind of blouse definitely feels more in line with something you'd see today. Those purses definitely are more in line with what you would see today. I think that, like, designer bags, for whatever reason, has become an element of EGGY that, like, does not really seem to exist in Lolita fashion. Not to the same extent, at least. Yeah, they don't quite look like this today, but you can definitely see, like, you can see something budding, right? You can see signs of what is to come. Yeah, the double eyelid thing is very common. What do you mean, like in terms of makeup? Because yeah, I feel like EGGY makeup is like something that like I feel was not there from the beginning. Because I feel like I don't remember hearing about it until like at least 2023 or 2024. I know using double eyelid, because double eyelids are more of a facial feature than they are like a fashion trend. The one that makes the eyeball pop. Oh, are you thinking of circle lenses? You might be thinking of circle lenses. So double eyelids are a thing. So double eyelid is basically, it's more of a facial feature than it is a fashion trend. So basically double eyelid is kind of, it has to do with like the folds of your eyelids, right? So if you are a white girl like me, by default, you kind of have double eyelids because when I open my eyes, right? The eyelid, it goes back into like, I don't know how to describe this. Yeah, it it folds back into a crease, right? As opposed to what they would call like monolid, right? Where it's like kind of like if you have monolids, it's like when you open your eyes, you don't see the eyelid at all, right? Like it's completely covered. So it's very common, not very common, but like it's somewhat common in different parts of Asia to get like plastic surgery for that. That's very common in some countries, to have like double eyelid surgery, which essentially just creates another fold so that like you have double eyelids now. It's not like having bags under your eyes because it has nothing to do with the bottom half of your eyes. It's double eyelid is the top half of your eyes. Like it's like the fold of your eyelid, the crease. If you don't wear a lot of makeup, it's not something you probably think about very often, but if you do, then it is the most important thing in the world. But yeah, there is also other ways of getting double eyelids without getting surgery. So they do make like eyelid glue and eyelid tape, which is essentially just like, I guess if you put eyelid tape and then open your eye, then it like basically just invents a new crease. So those are very common. They're commonly used. I mean, not as much today. I think a lot of people, I think the plastic surgery is actually a lot more popular than it used to be, and like eyelid tape has kind of fallen out of fashion, but there's definitely people who still use it. And a lot of like the EGGY makeup tutorials that I've seen from people with monolids, they all use eyelid tape. So yeah. Let me see, what you're thinking of is probably, well, oh, okay, Zeldy, what you're thinking of is eye bags, or in Japanese they're called namida bukuro, which is like tear bags. I know in Korean they're called eggyosal, which means, I think it means like cute fat or something. I learned about them when I was into K-pop, so eggyosal is like the term I learned first, and then I found out that like they had a separate term for it in Japanese. But yeah, namida bukuro, yeah, that's very much big thing for EGGY makeup. Yeah, namida eyes. Yeah, namida means like tears. So basically like namida bukuro is like tear bags, I guess. I guess the idea is that it's supposed to, at least, okay, when I was into K-pop, the explanation that I was given was like, it's supposed to make, they would sometimes call them like smiling eyes, because you know how like your eyes kind of naturally make that kind of puff up when you smile. I guess the idea is that like it looks like you're smiling. I guess it can also look like you're crying. I guess it's a very like emotive eye look, if that makes sense. I feel like here they're very, I wouldn't say controversial, hotly debated, I think, because I know it's very common, like highlighting or like not necessarily drawing on, but like kind of accentuating namida bukuro is like very common in Japanese makeup. It's not at all common here because I guess it's just like a beauty standard that just like doesn't really exist as much here in North America. But like even in other, like if you've seen a lot of other Japanese makeup tutorials, even outside of EGGY, it's still very common to accentuate them, just not to the same degree, I think. Also, good evening, Yusha. But yeah, again, take everything I say with like grains of salt because I don't want to spread misinformation on the internet. I'm so scared of spreading misinformation on the internet. I get concerned when I hear other people spreading misinformation on the internet. My actually senses take over. But yeah, I don't get that beauty standard, but it's up to the person how to look. I mean, it's like a culturally specific thing, right? If you didn't grow up with it, it might be harder, like, I guess if you didn't grow up with it, it's harder to understand. Some truthful information for you guys. Eggy loves to eat spicy foods. Why are you spreading misinformation on the internet now? No misinformation. No misinformation in the Eggy chat. Actually, no, hold on. That's not misinformation, that's disinformation. Did you guys know there's a difference? Did you know there's a difference between misinformation and disinformation? So, misinformation, actually... Oh, I was gonna put on the glasses and I realized I'm already wearing them. Misinformation is when you spread things that are untrue, but you do so unknowingly. You are simply spreading it because you truly believe it. Whereas disinformation is information that is spread with the intention of deceiving or misleading people. It is spread on purpose, knowingly. Or else I'm supposed to lie for fun. Okay, well, you're trying to spread disinformation on the internet, which is different. It's different. I don't know. I don't know. I'm scared of speaking too authoritatively on things. But spicy foods, no. You know what the truth is? Whenever I go to a new restaurant, when they offer like multiple levels of spice, I always order the lowest one, even if I think it's going to be not spicy enough, because I don't trust restaurants to accurately explain how spicy things are. Not even spicy curry? No. I always pick the lowest option because, again, I don't trust... Everyone has their own spicy scale. Like, every restaurant has their own spicy scale. Like, not even every individual person. Like, every establishment has their own level of spicy, of what they consider, like, mild, medium. So, if anything, I don't trust restaurants to be able to accurately tell me if it's spicy or not. So I just always order the mildest thing, and then if it's, like, too bland, then I'm like, okay, cool, I'll know for next time. The spicy scale is always, like, 10 kilo off. Well, it's also just, like, for me, it's, like, there's different kinds of spicy, right? Like, because you know how, like, you know, like Mexican spicy is different from Korean spicy, which is different from Indian spicy, which is different. Like, they're all different, like, it's not just different levels, but it's, like, all different types of spicy, right? And there's also things that are like, okay, this is spicy if you eat 2 bites of it, but, like, not if... But then there's other things that's like, okay, this is not spicy if you eat 2 bites of it, but, like, if you eat the whole thing, then you're going to be going ow, 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 right? Or, like, I don't know, there's also things you can do to mitigate it. Like, most of the time I can't eat tteokbokki on its own, but I can eat it with cheese. Or, like, I can eat it on its own, but I can't finish, like, the entire serving they give me because it's too spicy usually. Like, it's the kind of spice that builds, right? So I can eat a little bit of it and be fine, but then, like, as it builds, then it becomes harder to eat it, right? But, yeah... Usually if it's with cheese, though, the cheese kind of, like, mitigates it. I don't know. Actually, one thing I do like is stuff that's, like, spicy thing with creamy thing, you know? Like, because they kind of, like, cancel each other out and then become really nice, you know? Like, thing that's, like, spicy and cheesy. I like that. I'm a fan of that. Yeah, pepper jack, spicy cheese. Yeah, I like when things are, like, kind of both and they cancel each other out, but in, like, a good way. Like, what's the, is it carbonara? That's the only kind of bulldog noodles that I like, is the carbonara ones. For that exact reason, where it's like, okay, this is, like, kind of spicy but also creamy, and that cancels each other out. Yeah, the pink one. Well, there's 2 kinds of pink ones, because there's the carbonara and then creamy carbonara, and there's not that big of a difference, but I think the creamy one is supposed to be, like, just, like, slightly, ever so slightly less spicy. But yeah, I don't think I could do bulldog without, like, anything else to, like, mitigate it. Yay! It would have been nice to get the 2 dragons, but I can live with this. Or, like, I like doing the thing. Did you ever do the thing where you mix, like, a slice of processed cheese? Like, you get, like Shin Ramyun. I think this works best with Shin Ramyun because it, like, actually has a broth. Shin Ramyun with a slice of processed cheese. That's good. I like that. I like that. Actually, okay. For best results, I learned this trick a long time ago. For best results, you have 2 slices of processed cheese, and you put one of them, like, you pour your water in, you put one of the slices of processed cheese actually, like, into the soup, right? So it kind of, like, mingles with the broth, right? Like, it mixes with the broth and it basically just liquefies, right? Then while this is happening, you put the second slice of cheese on top of your currently covered ramen, so it like warms up a little. And then once your noodles are ready, you take the plastic off, and then you put your warmed slice of cheese on top. So then you get like cheese broth and then cheese on top. It might be too cheesy for some people, but I'm a fan. Here's an interesting one. Mildly spicy chocolate. Yeah, with I've seen recipes for hot chocolate where you put like chili powder in it. I've tried it once. It was actually pretty good. It's like it's not spicy though, but it adds like a bit of warmth, I guess. Yippee! No. Dangerously cheesy. I mean, I realize at that point you have essentially just made like spicy Korean mac and cheese, but like, yeah. Where's the peanut butter going to the ramen? I tried it once actually. It was with cup noodles curry flavor, so it was all right. I guess I don't know. Maybe there's better flavors to try it with. Because, like, I don't know, I regularly make peanut butter noodles at home. But usually that's not with, like, instant ramen. I do that with, like, other kinds of noodles. Okay. Eggy, you guys gotta write this down. Eggy, peanut butter noodles recipe. So, you cook any kind of noodles you want. Just like one portion of whatever noodles you want. You can literally do this with like any noodle. So you start the process for cooking your noodles. While they're cooking, when you have only a couple minutes left, I think I put about approximately 50 grams of edamame. Put that in the hot water, because I use the frozen one. So I put that in the hot water and then like drain it once it's done, right? So that's your noodles. Your sauce is 30 grams of peanut butter and about 10 grams or 10 milliliters of soy sauce and what else do I put in there? Garlic if you want, and then I guess about, I don't know, 8 grams approximately of spicy thing of your choice. So I've done this with laogamma, I've done this with gochujang. I'm sure you could probably try it with hot sauce of your choice. Just something spicy. And then you mix that together. Oh, another thing I forgot to say. Before you drain your noodles, you take a few like ladlefuls of like the pasta water kind of. And then you drain it. But then you take the pasta water, because like when you mix the peanut butter and the other ingredients, essentially it's going to be more of a paste than an actual sauce. So basically then you take the pasta water and then you just like bit by bit mix it in until it gets to the desired consistency. Are you okay? Is this that weird? It's not that weird. Poor man's pad thai noodle. Essentially, that's what it becomes. And then once the sauce is to your desired consistency, then you add like your noodles and edamame back in, and then you have, yeah, essentially poor man's pad thai noodle. Like, there you go. Ah! I autopiloted. Thank you. Ampersandy, congratulations to Ampersandy, and thank you to Bazoo and Mystic Voir. Thank you for playing. I got second. I did better. GG indeed. Thank you for playing on this Mahjong Monday. Yeah, Eggy, are you okay? I don't think these are that weird of ingredients to put together, though. I feel like maybe my explanation could be a bit more coherent. Oh, another tip. If you're using like natural peanut butter, I recommend microwaving it. Just like put it in the microwave for a couple minutes. Not a couple minutes, like 30 seconds is fine. Just to like melt it down a little bit. Otherwise, especially if you keep your peanut butter in the fridge, it won't like the texture is gonna be too hard to like actually mix the other stuff in. So yeah, only if you're using natural peanut butter. If you're using like the sugary stuff, like Jif and whatnot, you probably won't need to do this. It's gonna be like creamy enough as is. But yeah, you might need to microwave it a little if you're using natural peanut butter. You can use either. Like, it tastes fine with either. Smooth or crunchy? I use smooth. I guess there's nothing stopping you from using crunchy. It's just that it's gonna add textures to your noodles that you may or may not want there. But yeah, I also must stress you can do this with literally any noodle. I have done it with like spaghetti noodles. I have done it with ramen. I have done it with like udon noodles. I've done it with soba. It wasn't great with soba. It was kind of weird with soba, but like you can do it. There's nothing stopping you. I mean, in theory, when it comes to cooking, there's not really anything stopping you from doing anything, but like, you know. There's room for variation. There's room for variation. I know now, yes. And top it with a sunny side egg. I don't know. Usually I don't egg with the peanut butter. I don't. There are other kinds of noodles that I will be willing to put an egg on. Not the peanut butter, though. I wonder, maybe I could make like some kind of like Indomie variant, I wonder, maybe? I haven't bought Indomie for a while. But like, because Indomie comes with like, essentially like a kind of soy sauce and a kind of, like it has kind of a soy sauce and it has a hot sauce, definitely. I don't know if the like little onion bits would be as good with it though. But I feel like, yeah, I could probably make a mee goreng variation of it with Indomie. Like Indomie plus peanut butter. Maybe, note that down, might be worth trying. Might be worth trying. But yeah, this is also like my low effort meal though. That's like, I promise I usually eat better things, but that's like my low effort. It's not a struggle meal, I would say, because it still takes a little bit of like effort to prepare. And you still gotta have like some ingredients around. But like, you know, it's my like not high effort. Oh, hello, Beba. Hi, Beba. It's not a struggle meal because I eat it happily. Hi, Eggy. Hi, Eggplants. Hi, Beba. I hope boxes are going okay. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like, what else would I eat? Sometimes struggle meal tastes good. I don't know. Last week I had my unintentional chili. That wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. Definitely could have been improved. I tried it with cheese on top at the end of the week, and I'm like, oh, why didn't I do this earlier? I mean, the obvious answer is that I didn't have cheese around earlier in the week, but struggle meal's a mindset. I mean, if you're struggling, I don't know. It's been weird because I feel like I've seen different definitions of struggle meal, and I've seen people argue over what is and isn't a struggle meal. Because I feel like you have definitions of struggle meal that are like, struggle meal is meal that is like really, you make it really cheaply. Like it's something with really cheap ingredients because it's for when you're struggling financially. But then I've also seen struggle meal as like, this is a meal you make when you're like, you know, really depressed or low energy, or like you don't have like the mental or physical energy to make a proper meal, but like you want something that's like more put together than girl dinner, right? So I feel like those are two separate, and sometimes they're the same, right? Like there are meals that fall into like both categories, but I feel like those are two like separate definitions, because sometimes there are things that like I would say like beans on rice falls into the first definition because it's inexpensive, but like it still takes a little bit of effort to make, right? Whereas like there are other meals that would fall into like the second definition because the ingredients probably cost a little more, but the effort is much lower, right? Spam too expensive to struggle. Yeah, spam is so expensive. Spam is so expensive. So many things that you think would be cheap are not really that cheap. Not if you bought it at Costco 2 years, a 12-pack for $6. I don't know. I feel like spam is kind of expensive. Deli meats are kind of expensive. I don't know. Like... Yeah, girl dinner's foraging, but no cooking. To me, the definition of girl dinner is, like, it is a collection of foods that are typically not eaten together, that are... It's essentially a meal made of snacks, to me. That is what counts as girl dinner. Yeah. I've only heard struggle meal spoken by people who weren't eating the meal, then I realized it was being said pejoratively. Really? Because I feel like I've only ever heard it being said by people being like, this is my struggle meal. Like... Here's the recipe. Like, I feel like I've seen, like, people being like, drop the recipes for your struggle meals. Like, I feel like I've mostly been hearing it being used by the people who are actually eating it. I will still stand by that cinnamon toast is delicious. I don't care if it's a struggle meal. You're correct. I don't know if I would call it a meal because I wouldn't say... I feel like it's more of a snack. Because I wouldn't say, like, if you are hungry, like, if you get home at the end of the day from work... I feel like cinnamon toast is definitely not one of the more filling things you can eat. I mean, I guess maybe if you eat enough of it. Like, if you have, like, a bajillion slices of toast. Like, I mean, I guess anything is filling if you eat enough of it. But, like, I don't know. It's just bread. It's just bread with, like, butter and cinnamon and sugar on it. Which is tasty, but I don't know if that would really be... Like, I don't know if I'd be full at the end of that. Everything that was cheap is expensive now. Yeah, you know, you hear about those, like, Great Depression meals? Like, meals from the Great Depression. And then that were considered like, oh, yeah, this is what you make for your family when, you know, times are tough financially. And then nowadays it's like, even that is too expensive. But although, I guess, I don't know, maybe back in the day... Back during the Great Depression, I think a lot of stuff that we have today hadn't been invented yet in terms of, like, food science. Because, like, stuff like instant noodles were not invented until much later, right? So, like, I feel like a lot of cheap foods today, like, they didn't even exist in the 1930s, right? It all returns to egg and rice, but even eggs are expensive sometimes, comparatively. I don't know, I feel like I've become... low-key vegetarian. Not like, I don't know, I guess it's one of those things where it's like low-key vegetarian because I go to the grocery store and see the prices of meat and I go, and then I end up going with vegetarian options. I still eat meat, like if I go to like a restaurant or something, I'll still eat meat. And I still eat a lot of, like, animal products. Like, I still eat, like, yogurt and stuff. But, like, I feel like sometimes I go to the store and I see the price for meat and I'm like, $14 for that? And then I just don't buy meat. Because, like, yes, I realize if I go to a restaurant, it's also going to cost me $14. But the difference is that, like, I'm paying somebody to, like, prepare it and cook it for me and bring it to my table. So to me, I'm like, that feels like a different trade-off. And, like, I know that it's more meat. I'm aware that, like, it's like, oh, $14 for, like, multiple of a chicken thing rather than just one. But, like, yeah. Beef is definitely a luxury. For me, it's fish. I like salmon, but I feel like salmon here is kind of expensive. I don't know if that's the same everywhere. Because, like, it might just be that I don't live close to, like, water where salmon live. But yeah, I feel like salmon and fish is like the big one for me. The exception obviously is canned fish, like canned tuna and stuff. Canned tuna, I feel, remains like inexpensive. Very cheap. Yeah, salmon is expensive everywhere for sure. Yeah, like occasionally it goes on sale and then it becomes a reasonable price, but many times it does not. Shrimp is my luxury fish like. I don't know, shrimp here... I don't know, I feel like shrimp here is like... still... I feel like shrimp here is, on average is still priced better than tuna. Or not tuna, salmon. I've never looked for the price of like non-canned tuna. I should probably check that. I'm not even sure if my grocery store carries fresh tuna, to be honest. The fish section, like the seafood section, is not particularly wide. It's kind of just like off in a corner next to like the chicken and beef. It's like, oh yeah, we have fish too, I guess. Had a moment where everyone was doing the Korean canned tuna. The what? I don't think I heard about that. Man, okay. You missed that one. Try again. Yeah, we have the weird sea meat if you're into that. I don't know, maybe it's just like the clientele in the area is just like not that into fish. Because it's like, yeah, it's like here's the beef and the chicken and the pork and like here's like even like, you know, stuff like sandwich meat and stuff. And I guess we have fish too if you're into that. Yeah. I don't know why, yeah. I know if I go to like an Asian supermarket, usually they will have like a really big selection of fish. So yeah, maybe it is just in my area, it's just not that into fish, maybe. But yeah, I feel like other than that, it's like I still drink milk. I think I just eat a lot of yogurt. Slowly replacing all my proteins with various forms of yogurt. Sometimes I will be like full of yogurt all day. Like, I don't know. I don't have yogurt for breakfast. I will have, like, cottage cheese for breakfast. And then at lunch, I will have, like, crackers and tzatziki. And then I will have Greek yogurt at lunch. And then sometimes I get home in the evening, and I will have, like, plain yogurt with honey drizzled over it. I feel like I've just been, like... I know I'm gonna burn out on yogurt eventually, but, like... I don't know. Just been very yogurt. Excuse me while I abuse your French TTS. I don't have it turned on, you fool. A few months back, I kept getting shorts and stuff about people trying some spicy canned tuna and preparing it different ways. I think I saw one. There was one that was like involved noodles, and it was kind of... it was not great. I did not enjoy it that much. Can you say île noire? Why would I need to say that? The S in île is silent. That's what I expected. In what context would this need to be said? Reading a history book, okay. Yeah, île in French, like I-S-L-E-S, is... There's like 2 letters in there that are actually pronounced, just I and L. It's like eel, like the fish. Sorry, I was like concerned because I was like kind of turning the phrase around in my mind because I thought it was gonna be like the like, can you say like streamer? Can you say like a seal pushed me in French? Can you say a seal pushed me in French? I was worried I was gonna get baited into one of those. Eel tastes good. I do like eel. The eel is the most fish. Yeah, thank you. Anytime. Unless you're gonna bait me into saying something I don't want to say. Haha, okay. Pon. Pon. Yogurt maxing. Yeah! I'm just full of yogurt. I'm having yogurt multiple times a day. I don't know, I guess yogurt, there's enough variety to yogurt that you can have... You have different yogurts in a day without, like, feeling like you're eating the same thing over and over. You can have sweet yogurt, and you can have savory yogurt. You can even use yogurt as, like, in other recipes. You can make yummy dips and spreads containing yogurt. I have made a chicken salad before once, where instead of mayonnaise, I use yogurt. And, like, it tasted different, but it still tasted good, just in a different way. It's still nice to have yogurt. generally, I recommend yogurt. Nah. The foolish rat. Foolish rat. Third place streak over. Fourth place streak, let's go. And granola. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I don't have that much granola. I guess you can put granola on your yogurt. That falls into sweet yogurt, I think, though. Because, like, I think it's easy to come up with sweet yogurt, right? Because sweet yogurt, all you have to do is, like, throw some fruits on it, right? Maybe throw some, like, some honey or something on it. That's sweet yogurt. You got yourself sweet yogurt. But, like, savory yogurt, I think, sometimes needs a bit more creativity. There's just different yogurts. Different yogurts. Sorry, lately I've just been thinking about, I'm like, man, I feel like I want to start clipping myself more often again, but like I don't know if I'm saying things that are clippable enough, and I'm like, maybe anything can be clippable enough if I like title it right. But I'm like, I don't even know what's clickable anymore. Do I just need to like start titling my clips like NiceEggy addresses the yogurt situation or something? Like, I guess maybe titles don't matter as much anymore though, because I feel like a lot of people when they get clips, it's through like YouTube shorts and stuff, right? Where like titles sort of matter, but like not as much. It's a thumbnail world now. Everyone wants the pretty pictures. Go all in on bait. The yogurt situation is crazy. yeah. Like, what do I have? Wait, did Bodega just disconnect? Everything has to become the blank situation. The yogurt situation. Like, the grocery store situation is insane. The YouTube thumbnail situation is insane. I got logged out because I wanted to log into my phone. I should be back. Yeah, I think you're back. Yeah. You're good. There we go. I was gonna say, oh, did Bodega win? And then I realized that 3 out of the 4 of us are playing with the same character. Congratulations, Kinetic. And thank you, Waver Taser, and thank you, Bebba, for playing. 4th place streak! It's okay. 4th place is, I mean, that's better than coming in, like, 5th place, right? I'm trying to imagine what would have to happen to be the first person to become in 5th in a game of Mahjong. But yes, thank you for playing. Negative points. Yeah, but, like, how do you come in 5th in a game where there's only 4 people? I feel like there'd have to be some kind of like tag team swapping in happening. Can we get another game of like all EGGYs? The 5th place situation is crazy. Addressing the 4th place allegations. Do you think YouTube would like bonk me if I just name, like if you name too many of your videos the same thing? Like, if you upload, like, 5 different videos within the span of, like, a few weeks, and they're all just titled Addressing the Allegations. I just started a ranked where I'd hop back in. We're so Mahjong tonight. Everyone is so Mahjong. Undressing the allegations. I think it'd be, actually, no, a good bit, I think, would be if you, like, kind of alter the title a little bit until it becomes like incomprehensible. So the first one is like addressing the allegations, the second one is like undressing the allegations, and then the third one is like undressing the alligators, and the one after that is like interesting the allergies. Like it just gets like more and more like indecipherable as it goes on, but I feel like algorithmically that wouldn't perform too well. Yeah, like, I feel like at some point you're gonna get, like, stressing the irrigation, and no, everyone's gonna be like, what on earth does this mean? Like, you're just gonna have that popping up in your recommendations, and you're gonna be like, what? Makeover allegation. Addressing the altercation. Actually, no, that makes too much sense. We can't call it that. This is actual good Twitch stream title game. Yeah, so addressing the allegations. Each vid, the quality decreases. Yeah, I'm just like uploading in like 144p. I don't know if I want to do that on my main channel though. Because yeah, I'm like... My worry is if I get too silly with the main channel, then I'm gonna get like when I try to post something normal, like a cover or something, then YouTube's gonna be like, huh? What? Like, it's a good bit if you want to fully commit to it. Because, like, I don't know, I have like a cover and a half recorded. Like, I have one recorded that I need to mix. But making a video for it would be pretty simple. And then I have another thing that I was making, that I was working on. But I wanted to try my hand at making, like... Maybe not like an original instrumental, but like... not even recreating, arranging, I don't know. I'm making my own instrumental is the point. I am making my own instrumental, and it's not particularly good or fancy, but the point is that it's not the same instrumental that the original song uses. Is the point. I don't know. That's like a skill that like I'd like to have, because there's so many songs that I want to do where it's like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna be able to use the original, like, especially like anime openings and stuff, where it's like, okay, it's really expensive to get somebody to recreate an instrumental for you. So I'm like, this probably is a skill that I would be good to learn myself, but also it's complicated. Did you know songs contain a lot of instruments? Did you know that? And like, I don't know, I'm sure there's probably places online where like you can probably get MIDIs for certain parts of instrumentals. Like if there's like a guitar solo in something, you can probably find like somebody's probably already made a MIDI of that, and you can just like plop that in and find an instrument for it. But yeah. At least one, yes. Yeah, I mean, well, that's the easy part when there's only one instrument, right? When all you got is like a guitar, that's easy, that's simple. But then when you got a guitar and bass, that's when it starts to get complicated. Don't even get me started on the piano. Need more acoustic songs? Yeah, acoustic, I mean, the thing is, something can be complicated and acoustic though, right? Because like, I feel like, maybe it depends on your definition of acoustic, because I feel like you can have like piano and guitar and like maybe even like a simple drum, and to me that still counts as acoustic, but that's already 3 instruments right there, right? Like, that's already a lot of instruments, and you even have to make them sound good together. I mean, I don't know, I guess a place where I keep starting is like going on to like guitar chord websites and just like looking up the chords and like plopping those in and seeing what happens. But that doesn't always work. That doesn't always fully work. I'm still trying to figure out how to like identify like bass lines and stuff. Because yeah, like being able to pick these things apart, I think is like its own struggle. But yeah, I want to be singing. After Off-Kai, I'm like, man, I need to be singing like 1 bajillion times more than I am right now. Because otherwise I'm like, people are gonna forget that I can do that. People are gonna forget that I can do that. I guess I just have to figure out how to balance like singing time. Because the thing is with singing, obviously, is that like you have to record it, right? Like you have to put aside time to actually make the thing. So I'm like, okay, do I like spend less time streaming so that I can make stuff? Or like, where do I slot this into my schedule, right? Like, what do I have to cut to make more time for this? Because like with covers too, it's not just singing. Because it's like, okay, if you're mixing it yourself, you have to figure that out. And then if you're doing the video, then you have to figure out time for that as well, right? Which again, most of my stuff is pretty simple. Like I wouldn't say I'm especially good at mixing. And my videos are usually pretty simple. But like, and I guess you can always just like pay money to have somebody else do it for you. But that's expensive. It can get very expensive very quickly, especially if you want to do a lot of songs. Expensive. And I'm trying to save money because I want to go to a bajillion conventions. I want to go to a bajillion conventions and also buy a new desk. I need to have $1 bajillion. I need to make $1 billion gajillion dollars. So I can go to MagFest and OffGuy. And buy a new desk and maybe a new chair too. $1 gorillion. Just like $1 gorillion. I think any more than that would be a little excessive. I earned some interest. I'm still waiting for like, I'm like looking at my savings account. I'm like, when does the interest payment start kicking in? I have received $8. I will presumably be receiving more in the future. But yeah, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Am I expecting any more like surprise? Because I know here for like tax returns, it's pretty common here for tax returns to like be kind of spread out, because like you get your big one when you file your taxes in the spring, right? But it's pretty common for them in the summer. They'll be like, okay, this tax benefit, you all get $300. You're welcome. So yeah, that's maybe they'll drop another one, because I know usually they drop one in like June, but I don't know, they keep changing it. I just look every so often and sometimes it's just like, haha, $100, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Bank won't give you interest. You have to do advanced financial magics and also gamble to get interest. Yeah, but it's a savings account. That's like the whole point. That's the whole point. Do I need to get into stonks? I don't want to get into stonks. Yeah, we no longer get the carbon tax rebate because there's no more carbon tax. I don't know. I think there's also like ones that only certain people get. Like I think there's some ones that you only get if you make like over a certain amount or under a certain amount, or if you're over a certain age or under a certain age, or like live in one specific area or something. Like there's like I don't know why I get the ones that I do, but I'm not gonna, if the government elects to drop $300 into my bank account, I'm not gonna complain about it, you know? Interest on savings accounts is below inflation. I know, but like, okay, it's simple is the thing. It's simple is the thing. And I don't know. I think it's probably also good for me to have like a separate account that I do not touch. Like, you know, where it's like, okay, this is the money that I touch and spend, and then this is the money that I do not touch. So at least I know if I put money aside, I know where it is, and I know that I'm not spending it, right? Because like, if I spend something in my savings account, I will notice. But I'm not. Because that's the point of the savings account. Oh, good evening, X-Rock. Welcome. Hello. Join Mahjong game. Join Mahjong. But, yeah. Finance is complicated. Complicated. Hop on tiles. Hop on tiles. Hop on tiles. Oh, you have hopped on tiles. Thank you. I didn't think you would do it that quickly. Hop on tiles. Hop on tiles. Can we get one more? Okay, well you're not the guy. You didn't. Can you change to the guy? Do you have the guy? It's okay if you don't. Yeah, a Kagi party? Yeah. Do you have a Kagi by any chance? It's okay if you don't. Man, okay. 3 on 1. 3 on 1. Close enough. 3 out of 4 is not bad. 75% is still a passing grade where I live, so you're good. This is a harem, isn't it? It's like reverse harem? I don't know. If it's 3 of the same guy, does it really count? If it's 3 of the same guy? Like, isn't the whole point of like stories like that is that they're all like different and have their own like quirks and personality traits? You can't just have the same guy 3 times. For genre purposes, yes. Yeah, like you can't have the same guy 3 times. Even having the same guy twice is stretching it. I mean, I guess Ouran High School Host Club did have twins. But yeah, like that's an unusual situation, right? To have 2 of the same guy. And they weren't really the same guy, they were just twins. I'm gonna have water. I'm gonna drink water. Yeah. Eggy, drink water. I just did. I just did. You're too late. I'll drink more water. Yeah. I'll have to go home. I feel like I don't drink as much water when I'm at home compared to at work. But I think that's because I keep my big oiter at work. Like my big 2-liter bottle. I keep that one at work. But then I guess because I don't have it at home, I drink less oiter. I think it's also too, I don't drink as much water at home because on weekdays, it's like I go to work and I drink my big oiter and I get home and I'm like, I've had enough oiter today. And then I don't drink any oiter. Oiterless. Oh, thank God. Okay.
Eat.
I'm not gonna say anything out loud. Okay, now I can say something out loud. I think my gamble has paid off. I was worried I was gonna say that and then somebody else would instantly hit me. But no, it looks like it's paying off so far.
No.
I mean, well, at least it wasn't me. What are you gnawing about? You didn't get hit, Bodega. What are you gnawing about? Were you in Tenpai? I wasn't in Richi. You want to be Richi. You're giving into peer pressure. Don't give into peer pressure, okay? No giving into peer pressure. Only Richi if it's what's right for your hand. Peer pressure. Trying to think. It's kind of weird because I'm thinking back of my time as a kid and even in high school. I'm like, have I ever been peer pressured into doing something bad? But maybe I just went to good schools or I had good friends. Because I'm like trying to think, I'm like, did I ever feel peer pressured into doing something bad? Because I feel like, I don't know, when they would talk to me about peer pressure as a kid, I'm like, I feel like it was like nobody has ever peer pressured you into doing something good, right? Like it's always about like some form of misbehavior. No drink or smoke asking. No. I mean, okay, I guess my high school, like in elementary school, it was not a very big school, so like I guess if nobody in my class was doing that, then like it wouldn't have come up. But I don't know, in high school, I think my thing with high school is that my high school was full of like, because like my high school had an ESL program and it had a gifted program, so it had a lot of like, I guess that the result of that is that you have a mix of a lot of kids that don't want to get into trouble, right? Because you either have like, you had a lot of kids with like very like strict parents with high expectations, but then you also had like a lot of international students who are like, I should probably not get in trouble because then I'm gonna get sent home, right? So I feel like the result of this is you did not have a lot of big party behavior, I think. Everybody kind of had to be on their best behavior, I guess. It's not peer pressure if I already wanted to try it when it was offered. I've never been influenced by anything in my life. Not my peers, not my enemies.
Beach.
But yeah, because I'm like, I'm trying to get like, did I ever feel peer pressure to do something? I'm like, I think I've been in more instances of peer pressure as an adult than I was as a kid. But even then, I'm trying to think, I'm like, she's totally not going to play fighting games. Is that peer pressure? Okay, I feel like maybe I've been peer pressured into playing video games before. But like, I don't know, peer pressure implies that you're doing something that you wouldn't do unless somebody else pushed you to do it, right? Let me see. Or like a thing you were doing because you saw... Well, I don't know. I feel like doing something because somebody else pushed you to do it, like one of your peers pressured you to do it, is different than like doing something because everybody else is doing it, right? Like I think there's a difference between peer pressure and following trends, right? Because I feel like if you see everybody else doing something, but then you don't do it, and you're like, maybe I should be doing this because everyone else is doing it, that's different. Because I feel like, you know, seeing everybody else except you doing the same thing is not necessarily, like, they're not pressuring you necessarily, right? If anything, the pressure there is, like, internal, because you're suddenly like, wow, am I sticking out so much for not doing this? But, like, yeah, I feel like following trends is, like, a different thing than peer pressure. Following trends is peer pressure neatly wrapped up. I mean, yeah, but I feel like peer pressure implies like a certain level of... Ooh.
No.
Oh. You're welcome, Bodega. You're in second now. But yeah, so as I was saying, I feel like peer pressure implies a certain level of like intentionality on the part of the peers, whereas like everyone else doing a popular thing, they're not really pressuring you to do it intentionally, right? Like, I don't think that would count because it's like they're not meaning to pressure you necessarily. They're just kind of going along with what's going on, right? Yeah, hi Egg, happy holiday, thank you. Today is Civic Holiday. With a bajillion other names, depending on where in Canada you are. I've never heard anybody use any of the other names, but like they exist apparently. Eggy, drink water again. I'm gonna run out of water. Happy no work day. Yeah, that's what it is. You know, they call it Labor Day. And yet that's exactly what you're not doing on that day. Curious. Yeah, maybe I should do something for Labor Day. I don't know. Maybe I'll go visit Eggy parents or something. Because I don't really get vacation days at work right now, so I'm like, if I want anything with... If I want anything for the next few months, I guess there's always Thanksgiving. Oh, so thank the laborers by making them rest. Ah, Laborers' Day. Ah, okay. That makes more sense. Labor is supposed to be about the common folk, but it's upper classes who make the rules about it for themselves. I mean, we're all laboring, really. If you have a job, it counts. Like, why should we draw the line at what counts as labor? Instead, we can just say, you know, everybody is not working today, and then it's all the same. Can always give thanks or remembrance or even Christmas. But what about labor? You can always give boxing. You can always give boxing. But yeah, most retail workers don't get it off. What, Labor Day? I think it depends on where you work. Because I know some stores are closed on Labor Day, but some aren't. But I guess Labor Day, I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but I know here if you work on like a statutory holiday, then they have to pay you like time and a half. I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but that's the case here. Have you checked about Christmas Eve at your new work? Some places might give you half a day. I think they give me the full day, I'm pretty sure. I think. I'll have to check, but from the way my supervisor was talking, I think they give you the full day. Like, I'm pretty sure we get Christmas Eve and day and Boxing Day, I'm pretty sure. And then we're in the weird situation where we have to go back for like a few days in between Christmas and New Year's. And then we're off on New Year's Day, but only New Year's Day, not New Year's Eve. I don't know. What a bizarre way to do things. Like, I know a lot of people take vacations in between, like... I don't know, maybe I'm still like kid school brained where you have like a full Christmas break off, but it feels really, really weird to me to have like, okay, you have these 3 days off, especially for like a non-retail job. Like for retail job, it sort of makes sense because like, you know, Boxing Day sales and all that, but like for like a non-retail job, for like an office job where it's like, oh, you got the 24th, 25th, 26th off. You have to be back here from like the 27th to the 31st, and then you have the 1st off. I don't know, it feels very weird. It feels very weird. I'm sure it'll get more normal as I get older, but it feels very weird. Okay, I got nothing, but I guess neither does anyone else. I've taken the gap between Boxing Day and New Year's as vacation in the past 5 years. Yeah, I think it's because where I work, it's like, for a lot of jobs, they want everybody in the office. Because, like, I think for us, it's like, there's only so many people who can take time off at once. So my entire department can't take that as vacation. So, like, one of us has to be here. Yeah. Nah. Back and forth. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Do I go for this? Maybe. I know some jobs solve this by, like, strategically finding, like, one person in the department that doesn't celebrate Christmas and is willing to work that day, but I'm not sure if my department has that, so I'm like, But yeah, I'm not sure what will happen for Christmas this year. I guess if I can't go anywhere, then I can't go anywhere. Hopefully at least I can ask off for time off in January if I go to MagFest, though. Because, like, January is kind of a dead zone when it comes to people asking for time off, right? Like, who needs, like, Christmas is past. Like, who needs time off in January, right? Other than all the people going to MagFest. But if there's only one person going to MagFest, then, like, it's no problem, right? It's no problem. Eggy Nanora. Hello. You are not late. I think I'll run one more game after this, and then I think I need to get ready for sleeping. Because the last few days I have been very late slep and very late awake, but then tomorrow is Eggy work again. Only for 4 days. Only for 4 days. It's a short week, but like... I will have to go back to normal Eggy's awake. Awacking at 6 a.m. and going, ugh! You know? Going, ugh! But yeah, what's tomorrow? What am I gonna stream this week? I think tomorrow... So what's today? Today's Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday.
Oh.
I think I will not stream... I shan't stream tomorrow.
Oh.
I shan't stream tomorrow. I think I shall stream Wednesday. I shall stream Wednesday, I believe. But then after that, we'll see. I feel like the past few weeks have entirely just been me, like... I'm like, on Wednesday, I'll be like, yeah, I think I'll stream Friday. And then on Friday evening, I'm like, ooh. And then I'm too tired to stream. So I'm like, I don't know. At some point, I'll figure this out. What is the appropriate amount of, like, ways to conserve my energy for Friday? Maybe this week it'll be okay, because it's a short week. So maybe I will have the energy on Friday. Still possible. But yeah, what do I want to stream this week, though? Probably Deltarune. I want to actually finish Deltarune. It's been 9,000 years because I've only been able to play it for like 2 hours every week. This week needs to be the week I finish Deltarune. I feel like I can't possibly have that much left, but then I hear about like other things that happen in the story later on, and I'm like, no, I'm definitely, there's a lot to go. There's a lot to go. But at the very least this week, I feel like I don't have as much to do. Because I feel like, you know, before I went to Offkai, I was like, oh god, I have to prepare for Offkai. And then I got back from Offkai and I'm like, oh god, I have to unpack and get my life back together after Offkai. And then, I don't know, at least this week it will be nice and chill, I think, probably. I don't have any major plans before or after it, so... No, I was trying to do 13 Orphans. I couldn't got. I mean, it was all 13 Orphans. Still requires a lot of luck. I couldn't have gotten 13 Orphans. I know I'm already in first, but I could have been even further in first. I could have ended this whole game. I could have taken everyone's points, every single one of them. I could have had like 100k points or something, if that's even possible. I could have had 1 bajillion points. Like he's throwing the game for clout. I don't know. I thought I had a reasonable chance. It turns out I didn't, but like I thought I did. That's not too unusual. This is friendlies. We're all friends here. Friends don't make fun of each other's hands. Yeah. What do I need to think about? Let me take stock of things I need to think about. Do I have anything I need to think about? I guess I have a family gathering in the near future. But I don't have to think about that too hard. All I have to do is show up. Oshi Konbini. I should think about Oshi Konbini. Because that is in October. And I will probably go. I don't think I need to take time off because it's only on a weekend. It's only on a weekend. Like, it's a Saturday, Sunday. So I don't need to take time off. And I think the venue is in a much better location. So I don't need to, like, worry about, like, crossing the city. I probably don't even need to, like, book a hotel or anything. Yes. There's gonna be zhong at Oshi Konbini. They're gonna be zhonging. I'm glad. Maybe I should prepare business cards for Oshi Konbini. That was something at Off-Kai that I saw a lot, and all I had was stickers. But I realized with my stickers, I'm like, there's nothing to trace them back to me. Like, I know Bodega has like a QR code printed on the back of hers, but I guess where I got my stickers printed, I don't think they can do that. So I'm like, maybe I should get business cards. I should get an EGGY business card. Or at the very least, something with a QR code to my channel on it. Yes. Hey there. Hello, Rabid Beefalo. Yes, I should get EGGY business card. I think I will do that. Okay, I'm still in first. Okay, Patrick Bateman. Look, everybody else at Off-Kai had business cards. Everybody who was at Off-Kai, you can vouch for this, right? So many people at Off-Kai had business cards. I should have EGGY business cards. Maybe I can get those that can't take too long. That can't be too difficult to get done. I feel like give out business cards or stickers or ribbons to give out. Yeah, see, I had stickers, but again, I think maybe if I want to use stickers as a way of introducing myself or self-promotion, I should maybe actually have something to trace them back to me. Oh my god. I am trying to solve a mystery. Because, let me shout them out. I'm trying to solve a mystery. I hope I spelled her name right. Did I spell it right? Yes, I think I got it right. Did I get it right? Is it Inari? Hold on. I'm like checking the link to make sure this is the right person. Yes, this is Inari. Yeah, this is Inari. Okay. I met Inari at Off-Kai. Apparently. Or maybe I didn't. We're trying to solve this mystery. Because, so when I was at Off-Kai, I was like handing out stickers, you know, as one does. So there was two kinds of stickers that I handed out at Off-Kai, right? So there was the eggplant, and then there was the Slepa wax, right? So now the question here I'm trying to figure out is, so Inari apparently got a Slepa wax. The problem was that I don't remember meeting her, and she doesn't remember meeting me. So, and the bigger question too is because when I was meeting people for the first time, usually I gave them an eggplant, right? But for people that I knew were familiar with me, they would usually get a Slepa wax because I figured that like Slepa wax is something that you'll be more familiar with if you already know me, right? So but the thing is, so she got a Slepa wax. So I'm thinking it must have been when we were waiting in line for badge pickup. Because yeah, she got a Slepa wax and she was like, I'm sorry I didn't get to talk to you much this weekend. Like, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly. I'm like, when did we meet? Because she mentioned she was like, oh yeah, it was at like it was like a rehearsal for something, and I think you guys were all there, and I'm like, Inari, I didn't go to anything like that. I think she claimed to meet me in a place that I had never been to. So she was like, wait, then where were you? So now there's a second mystery of, did she mistake somebody else for me? Or maybe there was somebody I talked to who gave their Slepa wax sticker to Inari? I don't remember seeing her during batch pickup. I only saw her on the third day of the con. Yeah, when did we meet? We must have crossed paths if we somehow... Yeah, because Beba, you were there with me during badge pickup. You were there with me during badge pickup, so... And, like, if you recognize her and she recognizes you, then we would have... Because I know badge pickup was a time that was full of, like, seeing people and talking to them, and then after they left, I turned to Bodega, I'm like, wait, who was that? Not that I didn't know, because like sometimes it's like, sometimes you recognize people instantly and sometimes it's not immediately obvious. So there were definitely times where I'm like, especially too, because also because if I was with Bodega, right? Because a lot of people already know Beba, right? So they would not, there's a lot of people where they did not introduce themselves and they just started talking to Beba because they already know each other. And then after they leave, I'm like, Beba, who was that? Draw at this hour. It's getting out of hand. Now there's 2 Eggies. Yeah, like who is the decoy Eggy? Who did she mistake for me? Because I'm trying to think of like the place she claimed to see me in. I'm like, who else could have been there that she could have thought was me? I don't know. Maybe there was somebody else dressed kind of frilly? But like, I don't know, it was off-Kai. There's a lot of people dressed kind of frilly. Yeah, bad Eggy handing out duplicate stickers. Yeah, who was the decoy Eggy? Who's the decoy Eggy? Would Deba name tag profiled me in Boyassi line? I didn't get to do that to anybody, I don't think. When I was walking around, I would just kind of like try and glance at people's name tags just to be like, just to see if I would like run into somebody that I knew. I feel like every time I ran into someone I knew though, it was like they approached me. It wasn't me finding them. What if I just pick one up randomly? I'm just trying to think from where though, because I mean, there was a table of freebies, but I didn't put the eggplants or the Slepawax on the freebie table. So, again. Mystery. Maybe someone dropped it. My best bet is maybe, because I'm trying to think, I think there was a few people who got both a Slepawac and an eggplant. And my best guess is maybe they handed her one of them, maybe? But I'm trying to think who that like would have been. Maybe Fuka? I'm trying to remember, did I give Fuka both? Maybe she got both. Who else would have gotten both? Mysterious. I don't know. I'm sure we'll cross paths again. For real, and we'll know for sure that it's each other. But in the meantime, it's like, whoa, mystery.
No.
Mystery. Eggy win! Eggy win! Eggy win! Eggy win! Eggy win. Thank you, Mechlam and X-Rock, for playing. 4th place streak continues for Beba. Eggy win, though. Eggy win. Eggy win. Eggy win. Alright, we're doing one more. This will be the last one, because we'll need to do it quickly. Because I need to shower, and I need to go prepare my lunch, and I need to... I don't know. I hope I have time to dry my hair. Maybe if I'm quick about it. I feel like my hair has this problem where my hairstyle is either... Hold on, give me a second. So my hairstyle, depending on if I blow dry it or not, I can only explain it as I'm either Nishino Flower or I am Nice Nature. Like if I dry my hair with a blow dryer and maybe even put a straightener to it too, it's kind of Nishino Flower looking. Whereas if I let my hair dry naturally, it starts hitting the nice nature. Especially sometimes there's been times recently where like I take a shower late in the evening, I go to bed, I wake up the next day, I prepare for work, I put on a hat, and so the hat kind of flattens the top part, and then I'm really hitting the nice nature. Like, yeah, I might need to get my bangs trimmed soon. Because yeah, it's like stuff like that where it's like, yeah, it's a completely different hairstyle if I don't blow dry it. I prefer when it's blow dried, like it looks nicer and more put together. Because I don't know, I think my hair has a nice wave to it when I let it dry naturally. But the problem is that when you let it dry naturally, you don't really have full control over like how it's going to dry. Because it's like, okay, I know it's going to dry wavy, but which way are those waves going to go? I don't really get a say in that, right? And like, I know that there are things you can do. Like, I know some people have like the curlers and stuff, but the problem is that my hair is really thick, I think. So if I put the curlers in, then I wake up the next day and my hair is just still straight up wet. Like, it just doesn't dry if I put anything in it at all. So, yeah, I simply must blow dry it, I guess, if I wish to have it the way I want it. You know what? I have nothing better to do. Ugh. I'm not elderly. I should exercise more this week. That's the other thing maybe I should do. I should exercise. I should exercise. I should be moving around. I mean, I guess the step counter on my phone, because okay, so for a while the step counter on my phone, I don't know if anybody else experienced this, but did like the step counters on your like phones and Fitbits just like temporarily just completely go insane? Because like I think there was like a thing with like Google, was it like Google Fit or something? And so my phone has like a step counter, so like if I have it in my pocket, then it'll count the steps. But for a while, it would just, like, for some reason, like, either massively over or under count it. Like, because usually I've been, like, counting steps long enough that I'd kind of get a feel for, like, okay, this is probably roughly how many steps I took today. But sometimes I'd be like, I'd have, like, a completely normal day, and then I would, like, check, I'm like, how many steps did I walk? And it would be, like, 13K, and I'm like, I know for sure I did not walk 13K steps today. But it seems to have fixed itself, so I guess my apps are all functional again. I can actually know how much I'm walking. Whoa. I had a newer phone with fancy step counter at EGGY. Apparently I hit 20K on Saturday. Yeah, so usually, I mean, depending on how fast or slow you walk, for me, usually I judge it by approximately, like, I guess it's about 100 steps a minute for me. So, like, about 1,000 steps for 10 minutes, right? So, like, if I want to get, like, my 10K steps in per day or however much you're supposed to get, that would be a little under 2 hours of walking, right? Which is not really realistic for most days, at least where I live, but like, I don't know. During my breaks at lunch at work, I've been trying to go for walks whenever possible. If it rains, then like obviously I don't, but like because like my lunch break is like 1 hour, but usually it doesn't take me 1 hour to eat all my food. So usually I just like eat my food and then I just like go walk for like 20-30 minutes. I don't know if this is actually, I'm sure it's benefiting me in some way. I don't think, I've only been doing it for a few days, so like maybe it hasn't been long enough to see the benefits. I'm sure there will be benefits. I just figure, I'm like, okay, I mean, any exercise that I do is better than the exercise that I don't do, so I don't know. If it rains, then like I guess I can't, but like, yeah. No, I wish I knew when I was in Japan. I wish I knew that my phone had a step, because my phone apparently has had a step counter the entire time. I just didn't know until after I came back from Japan. I'm like, man, if I would have known, I'm curious at how, like, what my average steps for the day would have been there. Because, like, I was walking there. I was walking there. Like, people talk about, like, walking during their Japan vacation. It's like, no, I was walking every day. I was walking to the train, and I was walking when I got off the train, and I walked to the grocery store, and I walk back. I'd walk up the stairs. I'd walk down the stairs. I was walking. I really appreciate how you're saying walk. No, it's the I'm walking here. I'm walking here. I don't know. I don't live in New York. I'd like to go back to New York sometime, but yeah, I normally do 20 to 25 at home on a work week. Yeah, I don't have actual step count. I remember Pokemon Go weekly totals being like 35 to 40k. Yeah, for weekly totals. I think right now for me, if I don't... So what is it? Lately, like with the like 20, 30-minute walk that I take at lunchtime, my average step count per day is usually somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,000. Which is probably a little less than is ideal, but like that's still better than nothing, right? But yeah, I'll have to check how many I got when I went to Offkai. Like when I go to conventions, it's very common to hit like, you know, 13, 15, 20k. Or you can be Professor Bloom. My good friend Professor Bloom, who will just walk 9,000 years. That song about walking 500 miles and then walking 500 more, that's about him. I think last summer, when we all started playing Pikmin Bloom, he was like... He just does it for fun. Yeah, he'll just like... I think at one point he was like, yeah, I walked to the next town over. I think there was another time, I think, because you know how Pikmin Bloom, you can have like step challenges for the week where you're like, try to, and usually they're meant to be done as a group, right? Like usually it's like you and a group try to like get a total of like, you know, 30k or 100k steps or something. But he was like, you know what, maybe I'll try to do one of those on my own. And then he did. He didn't even need the whole week to do it. He did it within like a few days. He just walking for love of the game. Like he just wakes up and he's like, you know what? Today I think I'll walk 20k steps. That sounds like a good activity. Bloomed different. It's called Pikmin Bloom because it's the game for him. I used to walk 3 kilometers to and from my job at the liquor store. 3 kilometers. That's like... I know it's not uncommon. I think for me, at one point I had like a job where I was walking, like I was on my feet the whole time. And I think I would pretty regularly get like over 10k steps on the days that I was working. Because it was like... You know, you're on your feet the whole day. So like even though you're not doing like one big dedicated walk, you're doing like a bunch of very, very small walks, right? Like it kind of adds up. So I know during that time I'd get a lot of steps every day. About 40-45 minutes. Yeah, that's a bit of a walk. I know I had a job that I would walk like 30-35 minutes for, maybe, about. But since then, every other job I've had has been like too far. It was like, yeah, this is a bus. This is a bus job, you know? Yeah, sometimes if I know I'm not gonna have time to walk after stream, I'll get a small walk in the morning. Yeah, I mean, that's why I started walking on my lunch break. Because I'm like, I mean, I'm not gonna have time to exercise after work. So like, might as well use the time that I do have. I don't know, maybe that's something I just need to get better about doing, is like using the time I do have. Because I feel like, I guess, there's a lot of time I have during the day where it's like, okay, this is the second half of my lunch break. I could sit here and scroll on my phone and wait for it to be over, or I can go walk for half an hour. Instead of complaining about how I don't have time to exercise, I will go walk for half an hour. I don't know, maybe I just need to figure out how to do that at home, right? Where I'm like, why don't I have time to do this? And it's like, well, it's like, what do I have in between, right? I walk more, but I get displaced if I press the walk in the same of all the time. I'm sorry, I can't move my home every year. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can always just walk in a different direction. I don't know, you can still scroll on your phone while walking. I mean, yeah, but it's a bad idea. You have to watch where you're going, otherwise you'll get hit by a car. No, I don't know, for me, I've just been like listening to podcasts or YouTube video or whatnot, and I feel like it's enough variation for me if I just like listen to something different every day instead of the same thing. Like, because I don't know, it's weird. When I'm walking, I prefer to listen to podcasts or like, you know, YouTube videos or like someone talking. But I feel like when I'm on the bus, I prefer to listen to music. I don't know why. I only got hit by a car once and it wasn't even that bad. I remain in the has not been hit by a car club, which I think is a good club to be in. I do not intend to be hit by a car in the near future. I think it would cause problems. Yeah. That said, I don't know. With the area that my work is in, I feel like it's only a matter of time before I get hit by a car. Like, given the number of people I know at work who, like, take public transit to get to work, and also how fast the people in this area seem to drive, like, I think I'm surprised that there are not more people at my job who have been hit by cars, is what I'm saying. I'm not even joking. Bourne Avenue, Pine Street in Seattle. Dangerous intersection at rush hour. Ah! Were you hit in, like, an intersection? Were you able to, like, go to court and get $1 bajillion at least? Or was it not bad enough for that? Like, was it not bad enough to do that? I've not yet been hit by a car, but I've also not yet hit a deer while driving. Increasingly rare. Really? Is that, like, a problem on the deer's part, or is that, like, ours? I almost got clipped by a city bus turning a corner. I'm trying to think. I feel like there's a corner near where I work that I have to, like, cross the street there to get to the bus stop. And people would just, like... I guess I just assume that it's an area where not many people would be walking. So people tend to turn that corner at, like, 1 bajillion miles per hour. And they're all in giant trucks. So they're all, like, in, like, poor visibility for short people. And also, they're turning very quickly around the corner. So yeah, I feel like that corner specifically, I'm surprised that there aren't more people getting hit by cars. Another pedestrian screamed at the person driving into me and only got a gentle tap. Did you at least fall over? At least, as if that's a good thing. Gently nudged by a car. I don't know, I feel like even being hit lightly by a car can do a lot of damage, though, because, like, humans are softer than cars, right? Like, substantially softer than a car. Yeah, there's loads of deer. Some of my siblings have had deer ram into the sides of their vehicles, not even hit them directly. Really? I don't know, maybe, is this like a regional thing? Because I'm like, there's definitely places where there's a lot of deer on the roads, but I can't say I know anybody who's actually, like, hit one with their car. Like, maybe stuff like raccoons and squirrels, like stuff that's harder to see from the driver's seat. Yeah, maybe, but, like, I don't think I know anybody who's, like, had with a deer. But then again, I don't know, this is Canada. Like, having your car, like, crashing your car into a moose is, like, also a real possibility that can happen to people. It doesn't happen very much, but, like, it can still happen. Although, mostly I think it's smaller moose. like younger moose, because I think a lot of people like severely underestimate how big a moose is. There was somebody, I think on Discord recently in my server, there was somebody who sent a picture of a moose like walking on the road, and they were like, "Is this real?" I'm like, "Who was it?" Somebody sent a picture of a moose, and you were like, "Is this real?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's about right for size." But I think smaller moose are a bit more vulnerable to getting hit by cars. I think a bigger moose, like a fully adult moose, I think would probably survive a car. Like your car would lose to the moose. Yeah, bison on stilts. Well, it's like one of those things where I guess maybe a lot of people who don't know much about moose, they kind of assume, I guess maybe because they're herbivores, that like moose are like not as dangerous as like, you know, bears or like other large animals. But no, moose, you gotta be careful with moose. Moose are dangerous. Do not approach a moose. Like, you could get killed by a moose easily. It's not a fight you'll win. Baxter Crook, why are you just like copy pasting in headlines here? Nah, I'd win. No, you would not win to a moose. They have to keep having to put like PSAs about this for like people coming in from outside Canada and underestimate the size and strength of a moose. Yeah, moose will not hesitate to stop you if threatened either. Yeah. Like, they're a lot more aggressive, I think, than people think they are. Again, I think maybe because they're like herbivores, like people are like, oh yeah, like stuff like wolves and stuff, that's dangerous because they're like carnivores. No, moose, just because they eat plants does not mean that they will not just murder you. Like, yeah. Because yeah, like moose are also like huge. Like, I remember once, a few years ago, I think it was when I was working at a summer camp, there had been an incident on the highway where like a moose, I think like a baby moose had gotten hit with a car, and they had to like close or like at the very least like shut off parts of that highway because they needed to get like a whole team to be able to get like basically just safely move the moose off the road. Like not even to like treat its injuries or anything, but yeah, they needed like a whole team of like to like moose removal. Like they're that big. I thought that was a weird day though, because I remember like there was a bunch of kids who were late, and I remember like kids would come in and they would be like, oh sorry, I was late, there was a moose on the road. And at first I didn't believe them. Like I thought it was like something that like someone's dad made up. Like I thought it was like something that someone's dad had said, and then they just like took it as face value. And then I had a second kid come in late, and they're like, "Oh yeah, sorry, there was a moose on the road." And I'm like, "Wait, there was a moose on the road?" And then like I had a coworker who came in late, and they were like, "Oh sorry, I'm late. Yeah, there was a moose on the road." I'm like, "Wait, that was real? That was real?" Very Canadian problem to have. Very Canadian problem to have. I was late because there was a moose on the road. You know, I've had a very rough Canadian morning. I tried to make breakfast, but I was all out of maple syrup. Then I got in the car and there was a moose on the road. And then I got stuck in a snowstorm. You know, I made the foolish mistake of stopping for Tim Hortons. And then that's really what made me late. If I would have left earlier, I would have had time to get that Tim Hortons. Canada problems. Forgot to say sorry to the moose. Yeah. You know, it was so short on time, I didn't even have enough time to say sorry. And you have to, and I forgot to say sorry in the 2 official languages. Took me so long to put on my winter coat. I was just really ill prepared this morning. Ha, there we go.
Reach.
It's late, but like, better late than never. Don't me. I'm doing something very normal. That's very normal to do this in a game of Mahjong. Are you? I'm being attacked for reaching in the game called Reachy Mahjong. Like, that's the point of the game. You're gonna get mad at me for calling Uno in the game called Uno? That's how the game works. You know, an outdated meme that for some reason has stayed in my brain is like, that's how Yakuza works. Or no, sorry, it wasn't Yakuza, it was Mafia. That's how Mafia works. That for some reason, that's how Mafia works has been in my brain. It was like a very short-lived meme. And I don't remember how long ago was it. Was it like 2022 or so? But I don't know why, yeah, that's how Mafia works. I just constantly thinking about that. That's how Mafia works. That's how Mahjong works. You can sub in any word, really. I love checking Know Your Meme for history like this. Yeah, when did it start? Because I might have the timing off. It was definitely after COVID. And I think I was into VTubers at the time that it was happening. I don't remember if it was like 2021 or 2. I forget the timeline of it. All I remember is that that's how Mafia works. Man, I'm old enough that I'm forgetting things. 2017? Apparently for mobile? No, it can't be that old. Maybe the ad itself was made in 2017, but like the actual saying becoming like a meme? No, that was definitely like a post-COVID development. Cause yeah, it can't be that old. I was definitely into VTubers when that's how Mafia worked. Because I think I was on Twitter. That's what I remember. So maybe it could have been before COVID. Because I started really like using Twitter a lot more in 2019. But before that, I didn't really use it that much. What did I even do before I was scrolling on Twitter all day? I think I was scrolling on Instagram all day. I think that's what it was. But, yeah. Maybe I did forgore. That's always a possibility. I don't know. Do you want to hear something that's gonna make you go, ooh? So, Hollow Myth debuted almost 6 years ago, right? Just a little less than that, right? And currently there are people who watch VTubers they're new to VTubers, not because they're new to HoloMyth, not because they didn't have interest before, but because when HoloMyth debuted, they were probably not old enough to watch them, or like they were old enough but like not old enough to be interested, right? Because like somebody who's 22 right now, which is like a very normal age for a VTuber fan to be, how old were they 6 years ago? They were 16. They were 16. Which, I mean, I guess there's nothing from stopping you from watching VTubers at 16. But yeah. 6-year-old getting real into Mori Calliope. Yeah, even people who are, like, even younger. Like, someone who was 18 6 years ago, they would have been 12. Like... See what I said where it would make you go, ooh? Because, like, I don't know. I see things that I thought were, like... It's very weird to watch, like... how things have shaped up, because there's a lot of things that I thought were common knowledge, but it turns out are not common knowledge among people who were not around to experience them. Again, not because they weren't interested at the time, but because they were, like, too young. Soon we'll be surrounded by children named Gura and Pecora. I mean, not to that extent, I don't think. But... it hurts my brain that my Twitch account is almost old enough to make a Twitch account. Oh, it's almost like, what, 13 I think you need to be to make a Twitch account? Ooh. But yeah, it's very weird because sometimes every so often I run into a Twitter thread that's just like summarizing things that I thought were common knowledge already. Like, at some point, we're gonna need to start explaining. Like, there's going to be, like, people have to explain who Koko Kiryu was. Because, like, it's not common knowledge because she graduated 5 years ago. And, you know, somebody who's, like, 20 right now was 15 5 years ago. And, you know, probably it just wasn't on their radar back then. Like... but we have to explain it because it's been 5 years since then. You know? Like, this used to be common knowledge, but and it's not because we didn't preserve it, but because just people don't know it. Welcome to being a knower, Eggy. You now hold the knowledge of the ancient texts and are responsible for shepherding them. Yes, I must educate the youth. I must educate the youth in the old ways, so that they may understand the present better, as they carry it into the future. You're too busy watching Cocomelon. I mean, not that young, but like, oh man, in 10 years it's gonna be weird. We have like 4 more years before it gets weird. In 2030, it's gonna be like... somebody who's 8 years old is gonna be 18. And they're gonna be old enough to be a VTuber. Soon Crony will have a Vegas show with other nostalgia acts. Nostalgia acts. Man, we're just around the corner from like VTuber nostalgia becoming like a marketable thing. In the same way that we have like you know, people making stuff in the style of like what was popular in like late 2000s. It's like people are gonna be making like 2020 style VTubers where they're making like default hoodie V-Roid, but this time it's like a conscious stylistic decision. Alright, I'm in 3rd. Oh wait, no, Beba, you broke your 4th place. Beba broke your 4th place streak into 3rd place streak. Finally 3rd. Congratulations, Beefalo. And thank you for playing Nanora. Okay, that was the last game. It is 11:08 and I need to start getting ready for bed. So that I can whack at an appropriate time tomorrow. Let's see who's online though. But yeah, Niji-sanji EN fans living in the future, they've been having nostalgia since almost day one. What do you mean nostalgia since day one? Iggy, drink water? Fine. Final drink water. The last one for tonight. Their corpo is dead. Yeah, but it wasn't since day one. It wasn't since day one. I thought you meant since day one of the branch existing. Let's see. Who's on? Fuka is on. Mikan's on. Almontes is on. Slabman is on. Obake Pam is on. Rosie Chu is on. Neat is on. Corpse is on. Shimada is on. Floop is on. Okay. Let's see. Floop is still alive. Floop. F-L-O-O-P. Floop into agony. He is in fact alive. You can go prove that yourself. Yes, Floop is alive. He's alive. He's even streaming right now. He's doing Maple Story. I'm trying to think, who have I not? Who out of this like list have I not rated in a while? Have we ever rated Shimada? I know we have, but like in recent memory, have we done so? Hold on, I'm stuck in the advertising zone. So what's she doing? Bridge shuffling the cards to bring proper. Okay, she's doing a Hololive card game with KK Cyber. Yeah, I guess I can raid them. We can raid them if we want. If we want. Who's we? It's my channel, and we'll raid if I say I want to. I am stuck in the ad zone. And an ad for Applebee's. Admittedly, the stuff in the ad looked pretty tasty, but it probably doesn't taste as good in real life, maybe. I don't know. The royal we. Yes, we. And by me, I mean, in this case, we is everybody. Because you're all coming with me, unless you decide to just dip now. We are rating Shimada Tiger. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yes, we shall raid Shimada. We shall raid Shimada. And I shall be back. I shall be back on Wednesday. And perhaps on Friday, but no promises. But I say that every week, and the promise gets broken every week, which is why I say no promises. So, we will see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But I will be seeing you in a few days. Every single week is the same. Okay. And I have a full-time job, okay? And I still haven't finished Deltarune. So, it'll be Deltarune Wednesday. It'll be Deltarune Wednesday. But until then, we will raid Shimada. Good night. Good night, Eggy. Good night, eggplants. Good night. Good night, eggplants. Good night, eggplants. Good night. Au revoir. Bye. Bye.